I know ain't nobody right here right now, but just popped out a little bit early. I'll take a little bit. Welcome, welcome, real world. Welcome back. How you doing? Yo, yo, yo. How was your day today? Uh, some Italian meat, some tomato and basil cheese that I grated fresh off the brick, some crackers. Just right now. What's happening, Mod? How you doing? Oh, we gotta roll out of this. Yeah, I'm out here. Yeah, today was like a somewhat a chill day for me. Rough start. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. Sometimes you gotta crawl before you walk. Sometimes stuff is rough before it's smooth. It's good to hear. It's very good to hear. Both of y'all. Yeah, I just wanted to chill today because fortunately it was a nice day. It's so nice I had to damn near turn the fan all the way on low because it's so cold outside right now. I didn't want to put on no hoodie or nothing. It's like I'm taking advantage of this. How you doing, Iconic? I wouldn't go that far. I would not go that far, even though this is a shady helmet. I mean, hat. One of his old clothing lines he had way before every. Yeah, that's a hat from '08. By the way, um, free advertisement, until I'm monetized or whatever happens when it happens. Brought to you by Coinbase and their rewards. Anybody that's for cryptocurrency or Coinbase, don't have one of these, you should have one. And Gatorade. Get in where you fit in. Oh, wow. Maybe you should go talk to them people about that because you want to know what? I know I didn't, and I ain't got nothing to worry about. So you do what you got to do. Unless that's just some deluded illusion that came up because everybody has somebody that looks like them. Somebody says he literally looks like him. Then somebody said it looked like I sold drugs to his ex. Hmm. Oh, somebody just got that whip to the ass, not the belt applied, the whip. Somebody's gonna strap flesh from that fucking bone. You don't want bone to drain marrow. See, I love how these people just pop on here and within 2-3 seconds, they are assuming my life. You are deluded illusions of grandeur and glory, Mister. Want to think I'm 45 years old? Sorry, I'm not. I'm not. But I don't cash government checks either. But you probably do. But that's besides the point. I can give a shit who does what or what. This ain't about starting shit. But since you opened the door, we're here. So you think I cash government checks for a living? No. Last check I got was right before I turned 18 because my dad died when I was 9 from his work shit. Other than that, no. I have my own job. I've been working. I take care of everything. I don't cash government checks, buddy. I love how you just assume that, though. Assuming that's going to get you fucked up in real life one day, for real. You're going to say that to the wrong person, and they're going to give you the fucking business. Nah, because you look at this. In one sentence, 45-year-old bum wearing a backwards hat, cashing government checks for a living. Hey, you must really be fucking miserable, huh? What happened? What happened? You really that miserable you got to come on here and start some shit like that? Go ahead. I just don't understand what the fuck, like, how do you assume that, something like that? You really got to be a complex individual and very misunderstood. I can't hate you, but God, you are very off. You are so fucking off the beaten path. It's so unreal. I would suggest you to rotate. That's what I would suggest. Otherwise, somebody's going to apply belt to that fucking ass. Because at this point, dude, you're a fucking shit star. You're shit horn. You're going to get shit heel and shit rot. And I hear you. Whatever you want to say, hey, you got free will. I think you on autopilot, though, on dummy pilot. You ready to crash out? You drunk off that fucking clown sauce, huh? 45-year-old virgin. I love, hey, you guys, hey, everybody who, nice meth teeth, huh? Meth teeth? You're funny, Bran. Look at this. Look at this miserable guy. What happened? What happened with your life? Mommy feed you fucking paint chips or fuck as when you were a baby or something? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, what's your deal? You need to put a fucking manhole on that fucking sewer you call a mouth. That hole you call a face. Because you don't even know what you're talking about. No, I'm just, hey. What, I'm not supposed to stand up for myself? You get on here and start fucking low-blowing people. And this is the thing, I talked about this last night, everybody. See? This is what I'm talking about. And this is something that comes with the territory. See how this guy assumes he knows my whole life and he doesn't, whether he's been, I seem like a drug dealer. You wouldn't know if I was or not, but I'm not. I'm not. So you can take your assumptions and do whatever you want with them because they have, hey, no substance. Vessels with no substance. You have no credibility. That means nothing, man. I have 401. You want to? I'm not going to explain myself to you, okay? Because it's not even worth it. No, I think you're projecting yourself onto here. And the thing is, who's holding you at gunpoint to watch this? Because at this point right now, you're helping me trend. I love when this shit happens because you're not down to me. You're down to me. You want me to get mad? There's nothing to get mad about. I can't even hate you. You're misunderstood. You're drunk. You're going to crash the fuck out in real life because if you're doing this on the screen, I can just imagine what you do to people in real life. Somebody's going to get you, man. Because people don't fucking play anymore with that type of shit. I mean, seriously. You do what you got to, hey, Mod, hey, you know what's up. I ain't got to tell you, hey, you want to keep up with it? Let them. Just do what you got to do. You already pulled out the whip. You already turned that flesh. Go ahead. Rip the flesh. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. You want to know why? Because he just keeps doing stupid fucking shit. And the thing is, somebody who just pops on here and just assumes like that, they're really far off. They're misunderstood. They actually probably don't got their life together. And my life's completely together. I'm about to get my fucking license here in a couple days. I'm about to get my fucking letter from my doctor to go back to work, even though I've been getting paid since I've been off. Doing my physical therapy, just got it fucking done. You don't know nothing about me, man. A lot of these people come on here, they know what's up because they've been following me for a while. So you want to keep going? Whatever. I'm reporting you drug. Report what you got to report. I have nothing to worry about. I haven't done nothing wrong. Negativity breeds negativity, but I see how there's people on here. Yeah, I've never had my license in my life. They gave me a permit first. So, yeah, go figure. That's how I got my job when I got the permit. That's how fucking crazy I was back in the day. I just didn't give a fuck. My dad died when I was 9. I started going to jail. Yeah. First part of my life was messed up, but that don't mean nothing. Everybody goes through mistakes. Nobody's better than the next person. Nobody. So for you guys to come on here and throw, hey, you guys have that free will. But the thing is, who are you to judge? Who are you to judge? Because nobody sit here and say all this fucking bullshit. I don't give a shit if you had it when you're 16. I was locked the fuck up at 16, man. So get on with your fucking self. Be thankful you had one at 16. How about you look at the fucking actual factual facts? Like, stop with the bullshit. Yeah, you had one at 16, yeah. Acting like it's a right. It's a fucking, dude, it's a privilege, man. You want to know what? I abused it before I even had it, okay? That's my problem. I have to deal with it. You're sitting on here acting like, oh, this is just, Report what? Report what? Nah, it's... Hey. Comes with the territory, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I represent nothing but progress. Anybody watching any of my videos would know. Anybody who's been following me would know. If my moderator's got to fucking remove you, you're going to know. So act like you don't know. Watch what's going to happen. Absent a thought with deadly purpose. That's what's going to happen. Because you got obviously some fucking weird shit going on. I know, you keep talking about this other bullshit too. Whatever. But when you get removed, whatever, man. Make another fucking, make another one and keep coming. Because they're going to find out. Ain't nothing going to happen to me. I have nothing to worry about. I haven't done nothing wrong. I'm going back to work here in a little bit. I'm just coming back from a broken hand. So you want to know what? You do what you got to do, big guy. Everybody who's been following me, I don't know how many, 500, 600 people. So it's like, you want to sit on here and keep throwing these accusations? Anybody can do that. What you're doing is easy. Living with it after is the hard part. Because maybe you'll fucking wake up one day and realize what the fuck you're doing is dumb. Almost like when I was young, terrorizing people. That shit, I'm embarrassed of it. I look at it now and go, I don't know how I could do that. But I was desensitized. I had no empathy, no remorse, no fear. But then you got these people on here and they on this other shit. All this other bullshit. You can say what you want to say, what you want me to do. Give you a fucking shit star, you got it. Now you're a shithorn. So don't get mad when you get fucking shit right and die of dysentery. Because you're on the Oregon Trail and you just went off the forbidden path. Oh, I know. You and everybody, man. You and everybody. How about you just get everybody to do it? Watch what happens. This must have been all set up by design, huh? Because it's not bothering me. I've never seen my board just stay like this. Well, I don't even have to touch it. So many people are throwing so much shit at the wall trying to make it stick. Worrying about what the hell you guys are going to do is like worrying about the fucking sun coming up. I can't stop any of you. So you want to do what you want to do, go ahead. You know what you're doing. Now there's somebody else asking, make me your mod. This is what's going to happen. I have a mod. I'm going to have more mods eventually. But what's going to happen is you guys are just going to start getting fucking pulled like root and stem. Like a fucking weed. Because, nobody that really watches this, they don't want that. They don't want that. You guys weren't on here last night, and if you were sitting there ghost watching. I can tell you that right now. Like my mod said, I wasn't even worried about it. But you know what? Nothing happened. Just people like to pop up that are bored and miserable and like to start shit. This is not the first time. It won't be the last time. This is what happens when you're making progress. When people want to impede on your progress because they must be fucking doing something. I have no idea what they're doing, and I could care less, but we know what they're doing right here on my channel, and nobody's holding a gun to their head, and no one's got them chained to an organ grinder, so I don't understand how they going to sit here and waste their time, their precious time that they can't get back, sitting here throwing pot shots at me. I don't know you from a can of paint or a fucking hole in the ground, so get on with your fucking selves. Go fucking run a mattress and flip a wall, for real. I love how the guy was like, oh, you're a 45-year-old guy who's cashing government checks, who's a fucking burnout. You don't know me, bro. What you claimed is actually the fucking opposite. That's the truth. And that's as far as I'm going with it. And the people who've been following me prior to you getting on here and popping on here, like some fucking spark plug, you ain't worth the pot to piss in a window to throw it out of, especially after it shatters it. Come on, man. Get on with your fucking self. Go stand up and fucking be somebody. Stop being a fucking telephone tough guy. Anybody can do what the fuck you're doing through this thing. Come on. Get on with you. Stop diluting yourselves. Literally, stop diluting yourselves. Because you want to sit here and claim all this stuff, but the thing is, your words have no substance. So when you sit there and get all butthurt, you hear something you don't like, and you want to go, oh, I'm going to report you. What's stopping you? Why are you telling me about it? Just go and do it. What is stopping you? I didn't do anything wrong. So what? You think you're reporting me is going to... You have no credibility, no nothing, none of that. Like, go ahead and anybody can go out and do that. It's like it's so easy to go out and break in a car, any of that. and you want to sit here and run your fucking mouth. You got to be bored. Like, misery loves company, but Lord, if this is about a conversion process or some kind of, somebody got mad a while back because they got fucking applied belt to ass because they came on here running that fucking sewer of theirs, whatever. But, y'all got to watch what you're doing because, if you act like this on here, I could just imagine what you actually act like in real life. That's not cool. That's not cool. Because they're gonna build it up, and you're not even gonna know when the fucking hammer drops. You do it to the wrong person out there, or you might do something to somebody and not even know you did it to them inadvertently, and they might not even give you a fucking chance to explain. You don't want that. That happens to too many people that didn't have that intention at mind, and you're on here almost with premeditation at its finest. Somebody said there was over 20 people saying it. Well, fuck, there ain't even 20 people on right now. It's all jokes? That's exactly what the fuck the other guy said right before he got fucking pulled. Because he wouldn't stop until he got shut the fuck down. So I don't understand why people come on here and do that, because you guys are very misunderstood. Like I said, I can't hate somebody, but you're misunderstood. You gotta take it easy. No, because what? Did you hear what I said last? If you guys do this here, what are you doing in real life? It just makes no sense. Anybody can get on and run that mouth. Talk about it. No, come on. No, I don't even listen to that. I don't know that little beef is going on. You want to know what I'm kicked into? Because the shit's a long time coming. The case of the century. Whether he's going to run, he's going to come out missing, want to be suicide, or he's really going to get lock, stock, and whiskey barrel, because they're closing in on Mr. Love. What did he change his name 8 times? Mr. Diddy, no Diddy? Yeah, that shit. Because more shit keeps getting stacked on him, and it's like, you can't run away from that. That shit's got 100% tangibility to it. That your credibility is right out the window. And then just everything else, stemming all the way back to 1990. Drake can be 600 feet. Let Drake be Drake. Let them do what they got to do. Yeah, I work in a place. I don't work in a auto shop, but I work in a place that just made the fuck shit up. Like, so, there's no room for error. There's no room for error. I'm not getting mad, but I'm not going to sit here and let it take, because in real life I don't, and nobody fucks with me. So it's like, why do you think I haven't been in trouble in over 10 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like I said, assumptions, anybody can assume. That's grasping a fucking straw. Oh yeah, he better roll like when Simmons found out and got on his went bye, so they couldn't get him. Yeah, otherwise he done. He's caked. He's cooked. I mean he cooked anyways, but like, no, I'm not. No, you want to know what I did want to talk about though? Before all these fucking spark plugs kept popping up like mushrooms, and I can't, as much as I'd like to, I can't. Not because of my job. I wanted to talk about how they're trying to do the California road change with the tax and shit, because the gas tax is floating away. It's evaporating away slowly but surely. And they're claiming because of hybrid cars and more electric cars, they're going to make it to where you're going to get charged per mile for being on there. And this was a long time ago. It's not in stone yet, but they're trying to make it pass. If it passes July 1st of next year, it'll go in. But they've been trying for a while. Excuse me. They've been trying for a while, so. But California, man, that place ain't what it was. I mean, it never will be. I mean, almost everybody that ain't rich, and part of the 1%, they're already cut. I mean, ain't 80% of that place like Skid Row right now? I have no problem with football and none of that. I mean, I don't follow it crazy like that, but I grew up to watching Jordan, applying belt to ass, and them doing the 3-peat and still getting here and there and stuff like that. Growing up to that, that shit. I'm an 80s baby. I'm not 45 fucking years old, Mr. Assumptions. Go off and stand up and fucking be somebody. Go conjure courage and be somebody. Take care of your responsibilities and obligations. If you ain't got none, then go somewhere else because this ain't the place for you. All right, you want me to pick? Uh, I don't listen to their music, but if you wanted me to pick, because I know about this tat, I'd have to say both of them, because whether somebody likes somebody, I don't follow them like that, so I gotta be even keel with them. No matter how much they've been, whatever they're doing, they're not the ones who got their ass in the frying pan right now, regardless of what the hell they got going on. That shit might be for money. No matter how hard they went at each other, you would be surprised. You know, a lot of people wouldn't fuck with 6ix9ine. Kodak Black did. A lot of people gave him shit for that. Well, that's his fucking problem. But they did it for money. That's the only reason he did it. So, like, certain people have their reasonings. Some people just, they have morals and standards and codes. So it's like, hey, what you gonna do? Some people already know right out the bat. Don't even mention or conjure somebody's, don't even ponder on that. That is not even something that would be entertained. But I can't pick one or the other. You want to know why? Because I've never listened to their music. I know that their music sells, whatever, but the thing is, it's like they're in a rough business. That business is not all what it... My favorite NBA team? It used to be the Bucks when my boy Ray Allen was on it, and then he got traded around a little bit, even though he still got his main goal. He ended up winning the championship before he retired. You know, he was part of like the glory year, 1996. That draft, those draft picks right there. Oh, Allen Iverson, Kevin Garnett, Stephon Marbury, Antoine Walker, Ray Allen, Sharif Abdurrahim, Kevin Nash. I mean, Kerry Kittles. You had a lot of people who come out of there that became legends. You know, a lot of people. And, you know, the main goal being coming on the NBA was, you know, getting a championship, right? Well, you know, my boy did. You know, he almost did his third year against in 99 or 99 against Sixers, but he got poked in the eye, even though second to last to the finals, second round. It was like matched the game 3-3, something like that. Either way, like they got knocked out, you know, in his prime, but like he never lost it. He was one of them 3-point shooters, you know. He was one of them guys that if you mess with a little bit, he'd jump out his body. And before you knew it, he had 54 fucking points. 80% of it being 3-point shots. I mean, I remember one night I was in jail and they were playing the Bulls, and they spanked him. They spanked him, and I think he got like 56 points. And then there was another night the Lakers were on, and my best friend was locked up with me, the one I kicked out when I let him stay here, because he just didn't have his own interests at heart, let alone anybody else's. Oh, now you get me off task. I love that. I love that. I get it from all angles. Favorite NFL team? You pick. You pick for me. But the Pokemon? Kabutops. Or Cranidos. Rapidos, one of them is in turn. But I like Kabutops. It's funny you bring that up. You must have been watching some of my older stuff, or you just throwing curveballs. Honestly, yeah, he was my favorite, and like, I don't know why. Maybe because he was a little exotic. You had to extract his DNA from a fossil. Starter Pokemon? I don't know, man. Eevee. Just because you evolution and could turn into all different forms of the, Glaceon, Leafon, Flareon. Make you ride the lightning. Want to be the other one? Is that a good enough answer? Or do you want to hear something else like Onyx? Because I like Onyx because he turned to Steelix. Geodude was decent. He ended up turning like a golem, right? Bulbasaur, I know you started out that little dude. I actually, only when they're fighting. I love when they get into fights because that's like, other than like the Many others work. Oh, okay. What's that one? Pinflip ends up turning into Emperor or something. Water Pokemon, like a bird, penguin type thing. Does that suffice? How's everybody doing though, other than that? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad I could take care of your inquiry. Now, you want to know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. This is how it is for me. I really don't watch much TV. I don't even like to read the newspaper because life and the way everything is these days, it's like the grapevine. Not believe nothing what you hear and half of what you see. And that's how it is. I don't give a shit what anyone says. You know, that's not even a question. For one, I'm not going to down Mike. I'm not, because the thing is, it's like, shit, he trying to step up to do this little fight, and they're trying to take advantage of the situation. And you want to know what? Tyson came a long way from what happened. And that's what I'm trying to say. Anybody can go through anything. So it's like when people pop on here and say that shit, nah. Because it's like, why don't you go find Mike Tyson to do that? Watch what he does. You know, rip your head off and shit down your throat. You'll be lucky if he puts it back on your head. You still be absent. Your body's dead, you just don't know it yet. Nobody in their right mind would do that. You see what happens when the wrong person says something to them in an interview? Yeah, I'll almost get up and run from their own fucking interview. And the thing is, you know, you can't stop Mike from being Mike. But, you know, Muhammad Ali was... Come on, man. Hey, let me tell you something. Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali was his idol. He used to spend time with him all the time, right before he was dying. Like when he was on the end stages. Yes, he used to go over there all the time, spend time with him, and do that fancy fork work in front of him. I'm dead serious. That was his idol. So really, that's not a question. What I just told you, that should give you the answer. If you want me, that's how I'm gonna answer it, because there's no sitting there and going like, I just told you. If Ali's Tyson's idol, come on. Now you just going crazy. We might as well. Come on, man. Are you over there trying to make sure? Are you over there making bets and am I supposed to be good luck opinion? Or you just want my opinion? I don't even watch those guys right there, but I know who you're talking about. Well, I don't watch them like that. I don't even like I said, I don't even like to watch it on TV. I don't. No, because it's my life by default. I'm mostly never at home. Only reason I've been on the limb, like I said, been taking care of this, and I just got done with physical therapy this week. So tomorrow I go to see the surgeon. She signs off. I might start work tomorrow. If I don't, it'll probably be Friday or Saturday or Monday. But either way, work's coming. And I'll tell you this right now. I love my job for one, but that's not the point. The point is, I'm barely home. I'm trying to become management, so I work 6 days a week by default. On my day off, my day off and everything. And Sunday ain't no day off because we don't run on day offs. I get paid vacation, so I'm not worried about any of that bullshit. Paid holidays, shit like that. But I'm not on vacation. I'm on a healing sabbatical from broken hand, surgery and physical therapy. Everything's best as it can be. So tomorrow morning, I gotta go see the surgeon so she can sign off, so I can go after work, drop the paper off, and get back in the field. Hey, no, you're good, man. Believe me, there's been times where I've come on here and I'm surprised, but I'm not live. I do a video. I wasn't doing lives. I started doing lives about a week ago. But no, I understand. I get on and talk a little bit, or like right when I get off work, I'll be in the car warming it up before I'm heading home. I'll do a short. Then I do a video, try to do follow up with a video when I get home if I could. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow, most definitely. See what? My hand, my fist. I have a pin and you know, fucking screw put in. Yep, welcome. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. And yeah, I will be on tomorrow, so you ain't got nothing to worry about. I'll be on tomorrow. It's just this was the thing. You know, my mod brought it up to me though, and it made perfect sense. I usually do like 2-3 hour lives since I've been doing it by default because it's just I don't know, it's normal. Uh, I was gonna just shut him down because when I start working, like I do little shorts from work and here and this and that, but he was just like, just cut them down. They'll just be a little shorter, like do an hour. Well, that makes sense. It's just if I start a short, it'll probably be from my phone, not the tablet. I gotta get a new tablet anyways, and I'll just do it right when I get off work, right when I get in the car. So don't get mad if I'm not giving no eye contact, but I gotta watch the road. But yeah, no, I'm just looking forward to going back to work because I get stir crazy. There's only so much you can do, so that's why I've been trying to take care of this little bucket list of stuff. So when I go back, you know, I ain't got to worry about it. I got other plans. I got plans. I got plans. Shit, I gotta stop acting like it's a glass hand. That's what I gotta do because second time I broke it. I broke it last year too. The opposite side. It wasn't as bad. I didn't need no surgery, but I was in a hard cast for 6 weeks. They wanted me in it for 12 weeks, but I wasn't doing that. I do physical therapy with a hardball, so I got back to work real fucking quick. But this, nah. That was just fucking, it just meant to be because, like I said, I wasn't letting my cat get ate up. Lord have mercy. I see a lot of. We are getting along on here, right? I don't want to have to start with the behaving. That's why I didn't even start with them because they were so misunderstood. I don't even think they would have understood. I didn't even want to try. I just let them know, you know, do what you want to do. You just move on, rotate. Go kick some fucking rocks. Go light a candle at night to conjure courage because you're like a frightened child. I could not tell you that. I've never been in Europe. You know, if they were using the eagle's nest, I would say the eagle's nest because that was a nice little retreat they had during the war. And from what I've seen and what's common knowledge, that place was made for people of royalty. I mean, I guess you could hold out there forever. It had a winery that was like the size of all sorts of shit, all sorts of shit. Best skyline you could ever get. Fuck the city skyline. Those mountains, you can't pay for that. Later. What the hell? What the fuck? That's a little harsh, buddy. That's a little harsh. Auschwitz? Because they have over 1 million stars? I hope that's something good because I can't. The way I'm looking at it, I'm not. I don't even want to go to some. That's a little rough. You said goodbye, everybody, and you throw that out there. Man, a lot of people got what? That's rough. That's not even something to play with. That's like how they're still trying to play over there. Not over in Germany, but over, you know, Korea. Like that's why they cut in half. You got half of them still wanting to be in that age, the other half in our age. Why you got people fucking risking their lives and shit, defecting? Who wants to go through that? I mean, I guess sometimes you got no choice, so you give yourself a choice. But that's what happens. People doubt themselves. Doubt is the true enemy. Don't do it. Doubt is the true enemy, so don't doubt yourselves. Look at it. Hey, people gonna be people. Some people are just not right. Not right bright, if you know what I mean. We all make mistakes, but I'm glad last night I had to bring that up even though nobody was fucking running that sewer of a mouth. I told you it was going to happen, though. It happens. It's something that's going to come with the territory. You know, if they thought doing that was going to make everybody run for the hills. Exactly. Exactly. But he did his shit at the end. Like, he was trying to run out and get away with it. Well, there's no getting away with it after you do it. Doing it's the easy part. Having to live with it's the hard part. Whether he thinks it's easy right now or not. One day, everything that people do and thinks funny that is really ignorant and full of negligence and just makes you look like a spark plug, like a knob job. You will come to this realization if you have a conscience, or your conscience will grow a conscience. I'm one person that can tell you that. Back in my day, they didn't have this shit, so I wasn't on here being a fucking telephone tough guy. I don't know what it's like to do that. I know what it's like to stand up for my fucking self, though. And to me, it's just fun. When I don't ask for it, but if somebody's gonna do it, let them do it until somebody's gotta do it. I think they just thought they could get on here and just start trying to make ripples that become waves. Well, for them maybe, because they're burnt the fuck up. Now they wash the fuck out. Bye, bye, bye. One of these days, something bad might happen to them. Boy that cried wolf. Like I said before, he better have a good alibi. He better have a good alibi, or he's gonna be a good alibi. That's what the fuck's gonna happen. These motherfuckers on here doing all that crazy. Like they gotta get there and they gotta start recalibrating, their perspective on life and how they think this is a big fucking joke, because this is just a test run for what's really coming. Oh, well then do what you got to do. I'll tell you this right now. I've had people try to purposely just knock me out, and I don't know why. But the thing is, YouTube hit me up and was like, no, straight up, we can't. As much as somebody would like to get a strike over here, it's not going to happen. Like, they clearly indicate me, you're not getting a strike. That's why, it got to the point where I started getting, they had told me I need to get a moderator. So, you do what you got to do, man, to keep this legal beagle, because I'm not doing anything wrong. So when they sit on here and get all mad and want to be like, oh, I'm going to get you banned, they're banning themselves. They're diluting themselves. Like I said, if you're that miserable and got to do something like that, there's something wrong. Got to wake up some days. Just got to wake up. Yeah, that and the habitat. The whole thing. The whole rip. Because the thing is, if you notice, things are actually coming together. And they always have been. They always have been. And that's what this is about. This is about being able to relate. And this is about progress. If I can prevent anybody from going through some bullshit, I want to. If I can stop it from happening in its tracks from where you're at, so you're not taking one step forward and 3 steps back, that's what I want. So, but what we don't want is people like that. They come on, they have the right to come on. But when they abuse it, this is what happens. So, and it's like, I don't get it a lot. Usually it's like one person. They'll get shut down real quick. You get 2 together, I don't know what happened over here. I believe it might have been a little bit planned. Who knows? I don't want to think about it because that's not what I'm expecting, even though in life, most of the time, I've always been hoping for the best, expect the worst. Because that's just how it was. Now it's like, what you see is what you get. You get what you give in life. So, when they do stuff like this, little do they know, it's going to come back to them in one way, shape, or form in karma. They might not understand it. They might not even know when it's happening. But it will happen. That is a guarantee. That is a complete guarantee. Fact from the Falcons. Guaranteed. I mean, there is not worrying about it. That's why I told them. I said, worrying about you guys is worrying about worrying about if the sun's gonna rise. I'm not worrying about it. All they want to do is try to get somebody all hemmed up and try to do something that out of character or that plays into their bullshit. And the thing is, if anybody's been watching this channel long enough, they would know. My channel's not about bullshit. It's about the things we go through, the trials and tribulations in life. Sometimes we call it bullshit, but I would say right before my permit, expired, and I was waiting on my hearing back from Springfield about my full reinstatement, which I got. So I'm going Monday for my license. I got pulled over the last 11 days. I got pulled over 3 times, literally, and like I said, it comes so close to me filing a lawsuit against them for harassment. It came this close, just waiting for it to happen again, but I haven't been able to drive since then, so I don't, it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta go do it. Cops wanted to bait me too. Well, one of them did. The other ones, they just thought I had green, and then they searched the whole car and wanted to blame it on the fog coming down from other towns and stuff. And then the first time was because I didn't have my temp plate in the back. I had it in the back window. I didn't have it on the back part, so it is what it is. I can't sit there and get mad. What would disappoint you though is knowing that you're coming home from work, and then the third person that does it to you, he doesn't believe a fucking word you say, even though the guy he calls his backup is the first guy who pulled you over. So when he starts telling you that everything you're saying is bullshit, his own people tell him, actually, no, this guy that was coming from work, I pulled him over the other night too. But I don't know what you're doing here messing with him, because I pulled him over early. He was always a little early. Because I only have 12 hours to drive on that until I get my license. I can't even drive right now because that thing's stale. So I don't drive because I don't risk it. I work too hard to get to where I'm at. When you take advantage of something that ain't there to take advantage of, that's a privilege, not a right. It is 100 times harder to get. So I've been working since 2017 to get it. And like I said, I'm right there. Right there. What's more important is what already exists. My job that I've had for over a year. So that right now is more important. So that's why doctor tomorrow. Doctor tomorrow. So I can get the sign off from her because physical therapy signed me off. Then I'm going right to the job skis. Oh yeah. Get ready for worse skis. Maybe not tomorrow, exactly. I'm going there to drop the paper off, but then I'll know when I'm leaving there. I'll do a video leaving there. I don't give a shit. I'll be leaving there regardless. I know I'll be going there tomorrow, so I'm not somebody who counts the chickens before the eggs hatch, but I'm a man who hedges the bets, so I would never put myself in a situation where it would be counterproductive like that at this point in my life. Especially with what I have at stake. So I work too hard for where I'm at, and I'm not going backwards. That's just not an option. It's not an option. Some people, though, they need to do them U-turns and move it like they can fucking fast forward, though. You got a lot of people don't even know where they're going. They're on the road going nowhere fast. So what did everybody have for dinner tonight? And don't tell me, Ma, that you don't remember. Last night. I think I had something on a plate. Mashed potatoes, asparagus. Couldn't figure it all out, huh? That was funny. Somebody outside's burning. I don't like it because I'm smelling it. Not cool. Not cool at all. Nobody wants to tell me what they had for dinner? Or you haven't ate dinner yet? Well, hey, other than you taking care of this part that I know you're taking care of, my big thing is these people could go do whatever they want, but this shit's all recorded anyways. Those type of comments, screenshotted, They can't take it back. You can remove it, but the thing is, they want to go start some shit. That's just gonna be a boomerang. You can come back and smoke them right in the face. Nah, because like I said, this shit was happening before. It wasn't happening like this, but people would. It's almost like what somebody who really thought they were gonna knock me off my square at work did. On my day off, went up to the administration and told them I was taking a 45-minute break on my 15-minute break. Oh, that was hilarious. Completely epic. All he did was get himself in fucking trouble. He just didn't realize it until a couple days later. That's how ignorant people get. Didn't even realize I wasn't there. I was out looking at a house. Realtor heard it. My mom heard it. Like, what the hell? Started laughing. They're like, we had to tell you. Couldn't tell me who it was, but they had to tell me somebody said something like that. And they're like, you have nothing to worry about because you did nothing wrong. I said, well, yeah, obviously. But the person gave himself away. Because when I came back, he was trying to be buddy. And it's just like, man, you might as well just had a sign, floating emoji above your head saying you did it. Because it's like he's showing a pattern of behavior that just wasn't acceptable. You know, you go out of your way to make up lies. And then it's a solid, concrete, gold fact that what you just said is absolute fucking horseshit. Hey, you get what you give. So he didn't get the desired result from that. Let's just put it that way. I personally don't give a shit about it because it's over and done with, but I can at least tell y'all about it because to me it's funny. Because for him just to assume that was going to do something, especially when I don't do anything like that to begin with, and then for him to do it when I wasn't at work, that just showed how deluded he was. Like he was trying to do anything. You know how they say drastic times call for drastic measures? Well, in his mind, it must have been drastic because for somebody to make up a Frankenstein story like that, it was funny. It was almost like so funny. I didn't want to believe it. It almost was unrealistic because it was like knowing who the person was. How did you not know I wasn't around? Like you didn't, what, you remember seeing me 1 second and the next thing you didn't see me at all, so you just went up and just hoped? Because that's not what happened. I have no idea. But I guess that goes everywhere, you know? But to be realistic, it was more solidified and when I was in the joint than when that shit happened. Because that shit happens like somebody gets to the point where they don't like somebody, they'll just straight up start making shit up, and then they just want to. What they'll do is they'll go around saying some stuff in there. You want to know how you keep yourself out of some bullshit? Because people pull themselves accidentally into bullshit, and I'm talking on the streets, everywhere, personal, foreign, domestic, whatever. Somebody comes up to you and you have nothing to do with what they're about to talk about, and they go, "Hey, what do you think of so-and-so? Because this is what I think of them because of this, this, and that." You don't give them an opinion. You go, "I have no opinion one way or another," because regardless if you give a good opinion or a bad opinion about that person, you have already integrated yourself into that bullshit. So now by default, you've inherited it. So now that person can go around and put your name in their mouth and go, "Well, he said this." Now you got to worry about if somebody else is going to start pointing and doing this. So that's what I do. If you don't want to be part of some bullshit and you know it's negativity right out the window, or you know somebody's trying to conjure the courage to start some shit, just go, "I have no opinion one way or another," because you want to know what happens? It throws them on their back like a turtle. They can't do nothing. It desensitizes them. It's like a reset button. They don't know what to say because they don't ever hear nobody say that. So you use that, you'll be pretty good. And then, they try to keep back. "Didn't you just hear me? I'm not repeating myself. Get on with yourself." But that's what bored people do. They want to start shit when they should really be fucking thinking about themselves and priorities. Because, we ain't got a lot of time here. This is just a fucking test run for what's really, where we're really going. So, like, and how we, by default take advantage of most things here. Uh, if this is to get us ready for the test run, people like that, I don't even know how they're going to make it because they're very misunderstood, and I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. I hope that they get some kind of fucking awakening somehow, other than what has to happen on here by default. Because I don't like to see that. I don't. I don't care who it is. I don't want to see anybody doing bad. Nobody. Nobody. But I don't know if a lot of. I hope a lot of you don't be in California, but if they get that tax going in California, that road tax, because all their gas revenue taxes are, you got whoever's driving on it, essentially is going to be paying for everything, and they either want you to do it by the year or by the month, and it's like depending on how much you drive, man, that's going to be crazy. And then even for like gas vehicles, they're still going to have some kind, but they're saying right now they're trying to just target. Excuse me. They're just trying to target straight electric and hybrid cars. So, then they're trying to bring up how they want to maintain emissions free, a little carbon footprint, try to get something done other. But it's like you guys got to worry about the homeless situation first before you. It seems like no matter which state's doing the best, secretly they're always in debt, or something's going on that we don't know about, or nobody wants to talk about. Most of the people that probably come on here probably ain't from there or don't got nothing to do with there, so don't care. But I'm not from there. I'm not going from there. But the thing is, it's something to talk about because it will affect a lot of people. Whoever's coming through there, whoever it does constantly take it. I mean, what's going on with the Skid Row shit? I'm seeing that's getting bigger and bigger. They're able to just kick people out with impunity. That they can't. I'm not no squatter, but they can't just kick you out like that around here in Illinois. That type of shit just don't ride like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Chicago might have their own little, like, tiny little... But they ain't got nothing like that going on over there. Nothing like that. That's just crazy. I mean, they literally ain't got a Skid Row. They got Skid Rows. I think Philadelphia's damn near like that, too. San Francisco. Baltimore. They're getting, like, real bad. We're like... It ain't no boarding up the houses. It's the streets are all fucked up. Everybody's just scurrying around, not knowing what they're doing. And it's almost like, yeah, we want everybody in chaos, running around in fucking circles trying to eat each other. They might as well take everybody and put them on an island like they did to those Russian people from the prison. Remember they did that back 50, 60 years ago? They ended up calling the place Cannibal Island. How many people they put over there? And they told them, they're like, don't worry, we're coming back. We're going to bring you resources and shit. They never did. Those guys ended up starting to eat each other. It was survival of the fittest. That had to be a rough way to go. Because eventually, whoever's left, they got to turn on each other to survive. And then you just... According to the, history, that's exactly what happened too. Straight cannibalism from start to finish. And that's, that's like 100 grades lower than what Fidel did with the crime in the Cuban crime wave, with sending all them over here, releasing them and go boom. At least they got a chance when they came over here. These guys, they had no chance to begin with. They had no chance to begin with. They were deemed, beyond a liability. They like, we don't even want you around. You're beyond expendable. We're nothing. We're gonna dump you off on this ice island, and you guys are gonna just fight it out. I see everything real quiet on here now. Who's all on here? There's 4 people I see. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah. Oh, you remember? Yeah, that shit was rough. Yeah, like I said, they had people they talked to that were like, that were like sending them out there and stuff, and it was like they were talking about it like it was normal, like it was the best thing for them, and it was like, no way. I don't care. Hey, they could have all been doing life sentences, whatever. There's a lot of people that were fucking that were supposed to get killed. That got a trip to America. Yeah, they might have sent in a detention center that was made, you know, makeshift for a little bit, but some of them got out, some of them didn't. Albania, what's up? 760-069, welcome. By the way, I will start a Facebook for this too. Hello to Germany too. What's up? I want to let you know though, in the description, email. Finally. I will make a Facebook though for this or something, or an Instagram. I will get it going. It's just like I said, today was like my chill day because a lot of shit's been going on. I was between the heat and current events, things get just crossing my T's, dotting my I's, iron out those wrinkles, getting ready to go back. I really I'm on a ticking time and I can hear it go tick, 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 like just it's like knowing what I know. My perspective, of like certain things I've had to mentally, emotionally, and physically get myself prepared for this. So now it's more of a mental thing. So emotionally and physically, I've got myself going. Mentally, I've got to lock myself in. So like that's why I'm trying to deal with things that I don't have the luxury to deal with once I get back to work. Because anybody that knows, I do work a lot. I work 6 days a week by default. So, and sometimes if I do get a day, or I do take a day, it's because I got so much fucking overtime that I don't need that day. But it's like, it's pure gold for me. So, yeah, for sure, we do. My mom is right. We don't got enough people in here that got a good mindset, got a good head on their shoulders. Got a lot of people that are bored, wanting to treat us like voodoo dolls or a dartboard. Not realizing, they're going against the grain. Oh well, though. Someone's got to do it, right? Good or bad, somebody's got to do it. That's what I've noticed in this world my entire life. I'm so glad I'm not 45, though. I hope that dude never goes on The Price is Right. He won't ever win a fucking thing. Because his assumption, if he had to assume how much a fucking air fryer was, he probably has never bought anything or bought an air fryer, so he'd probably throw it off or just look at it and be like, oh, that thing's dumb. It's only worth $80. Might be worth more. Might be worth less. You never know. I'm sure he's still not 45. And there's something wrong with me wearing a hat. If it's a hanging offense, I suggest you get a hold of the man that's in charge and have him, come down and do what he's got to do, because I'm not going anywhere until it's time. Until then, this is what it is. Thank you, 760-069. I like how I'm getting a lot of people from different countries coming through. A lot. I am liking that. And it's like what I'm liking too, get a lot of people on here seeing what's going on. Followers are starting to come in a little bit more now. Like I said, don't bother me when I get one a day or one a week, but last night was a big improvement. I couldn't believe it. Even today. Today, decent. Might not have been super epic like yesterday, but, we only had an... Yeah, and, when I started, I was at like 650 something or 6. I don't know. I don't keep... But I noticed when I did see it, I'm like, holy shit. That totally... At least 10 plus. At least. And last night was perfect. There was nothing but benevolence and bliss. Nobody was being stupid. Nobody was, Nobody needed to be told to behave. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. It was awesome. Not every day is going to be the same, though, but one thing we can say for sure is as things continue to do what they're doing, which is just going forward and growing, things like that won't be tolerated. It'll be tolerated even lower and lower. I think some of these people come on with a pre-wrote script. I think sometimes they've been practicing it all day before it happens, and they're like, "We're just going to go on a whole bunch of different lives and start shit." Because there's been times where I'm watching somebody's live, and somebody will, and like there's no negativity going on at all, no negativity going on, and all of a sudden they just pop up like fucking mushrooms, or like the IRS knocking at your fucking door. Remember that too, guys. Don't fall for those tricks. IRS does not call you. All right? So don't fall for that scam either. So many people don't even realize that. They come to your door, especially if you did something wrong. They'll be at you, they'll kick your fucking door down. But that's, you got somebody calling you claiming they're the IRS, just hang the fuck up. Don't even entertain it. Because otherwise all you're going to do is vic yourself out. No, because it's been happening a lot lately. Somebody down the road from me fucking fell for some stupid shit. And, yeah, exactly. They only send letters and they only come to your house. And usually, most of the time when they come to your house, it's not a good thing. It's usually for tax evasion, embezzlement, something. But no, what I'm trying to get at is that somebody I know, they just got hit for almost 20K. And all they had to do is just be quiet. You want to know what ended up happening? They ended up giving their social security number to somebody they thought was an IRS agent. But like I said, the IRS don't call. That person was able to take that and go make a whole new identity with that name. Or act like that person, actually. Act like that person. And was able to go take out a $17,000 loan. Based on their and destroy it. And they're the ones who got the shit in the fucking... It was crazy. It was crazy. And this shit happens. It happens more than you know. Now these days, you got these guys in call centers non-stop. Just, they got a number generator. And most of the time, if you can have a spam blocker, they don't take your name, mother. They keep going. They keep going. So, like, there's a lot of times people will just pick up the phone and they'll start entertaining things and not even realize how detrimental it's going to be to their life. Or they're so prostrated with grief, or they're so blinded by other things that they don't realize that they're already, they're already gone. The wolf's in the hen house, so it's like, and that right there too, to me, is like another cowardly way to fucking do somebody dirty. Especially when they go after the old people. I've been noticing that a lot. Like they take advantage of old people that are still on their own. Not cool. Not cool. And it could be about anything. I've heard them call somebody before and go, "You owe money." They won't tell you what you owe money for. They owe money, and that you got to pay them money right now, or you're gonna get a warrant for your arrest or some shit. And they'll get the person all scared. And then all of a sudden, when they're like, "All right, I'll pay," they'll be like, "All right." Then they'll be like, "Well, I want to pay credit card, whatever, or send a check." They're like, "No, you got to go out and buy prepaid cards." That's how you should already know there's something wrong. If they're not, if you're to the point where you don't realize what's going on, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna start paying," and they go, "Well, you can't pay with a credit card or anything over the phone and all that, but you can go out and buy a whole bunch of prepaid cards." There's something wrong. There's something really wrong. A lot of people don't catch it. I don't know. That's probably because you're not taking a molehill and turning it into a mountain. They're looking for patterns of certain patterns that don't make sense, like shell companies embezzling money, shit like that, fronts. Because, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but like Switzerland, even though it's pretty quiet over there and they ain't got a lot of crime, like Finland, it's pretty. That Switzerland was built on laundering money. I mean, they were so built on it and thrive and depend on it. That's their lifeblood. That they actually have law, like really strict banking laws over there, but the most lightest ones for doing negative activity. But the privacy laws are really high, and like, let's say somebody's after you for that shit, they can't get you coming in or out of one. That's real, completely real. And they still laundering money to the second. I mean, a lot of people launder money everywhere, but you know that shit carries it over there. That shit's normal. That's second nature. Here, people do it. All it takes is for one little thing. One little thing. And then they're going to start looking into shit. They're going to have a microscope so far up your ass. Yeah. And believe me, you know, that, like, messing with that shit's just like, you know, they're the feds. So, like, it don't matter. Non-violent crime, whatever. You got to go do some time. That shit's, it's not like state time. It don't matter the nature of the crime. Everything's 100% over there with the feds. And they bat so high with the fucking conviction rate. They make sure they got 10 times more than what they need before they come get you. So you better watch it. Like literally, everything's coming to a damn near halt. They already had enough for Diddy to get him gone, okay? But now it's really coming. Now we really got to talk about the fucking, you know, talk about some real stuff that people denied or didn't want to believe or just were deceived. And we're just, I don't know. We're made ourselves look deceived because this is the thing. You could sit there, you could sugarcoat it any way you want. Facts are facts. So somebody wants to argue a fact and say it's not, that's where you are like pretty much running into a brick wall. Nothing good's going to come of it. Because if you can't accept the fact of anything, any aspect of anything in life that it is a fact, whether it comes to you, comes to everybody, and this is about everybody. You know, some people, they make up their own laws in their mind and buy by their own rules and just don't give a shit. Welcome, James. Yeah. I used to too all the time, big guy. I used to talk to shit to the scam callers all the time. Because I got some satisfaction out of it because these guys would get all pissed because I'd play stupid. I'd play it down. I'd be like, okay. And then what I would do is I'd give them a fucking number that never even existed. And as I continue to do it, they get mad. Oh, yeah. I'd be like, hold on, I gave you the wrong one. Let me get my new one out. The one that just came in the mail. And pull out an older one. Yeah. These motherfuckers get crazy. They get cranky. They get to the point where they start calling you stupid. You're stupid. You stupid. It's going crazy. Or freak out, like God forbid you take over their system. Take all their money away. And they scam from everybody, all the innocents. They don't like when people do that Robin Hood shit. They really freak out, then they bottom out. That's why they like trying to get people on cryptocurrency because it's not completely centralized. That's why the government's trying to adopt it. That's why everybody else has got their hands in on it because it's a form. It's pretty much trying to become the new form of legal tender. But as of right now, it's untraceable. Like if you send Bitcoin to somebody or some crypto, and you don't know them, and it went to a real address, they got it, and they ain't obligated to send it back, and they ain't breaking the law. That was your fault. But if you fucking get in a scam and you send somebody Bitcoin, it's over with. There's no way you're going to recover that shit. Or just like if you send it to a non-existent address, you are literally flushing it down the toilet. It's like almost when you're playing Magic, the Gathering, mana burn. When you just have too much mana, you don't have nothing to cast it on. Use it to cast a spell or summon a creature or enchant something. Yeah, you take that mana burn. Oh yeah, you don't want that. Things get rough. I don't play that shit now. I used to play it back in the day, a little bit. Oh damn! You had them waiting like a commuter waiting for a train. That's rough, but they deserved it, and they still got nothing, huh? Nothing but a whole bunch of bad feelings, huh? Why? What do y'all got planned for tomorrow? Hey, did anybody ever go check out what I was telling you about with the Ukrainians using them Down syndrome boys? That's rough. Because they're short on soldiers. I don't even know how that's legal. I guess when they activate war, anything's legal, huh? Everything's like war standards. No, I'm serious because it's like almost now like a fucking like a trending thing they're trying to do. And I guess their main reason and justification is because they have no men. Well, what you're trying to use these guys for, they're gonna. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth doing it. Yeah, it's almost like when this shit happens again. It's almost like there's no domestic rules anymore. It's all what we want. Whatever we make and break our own rules. That's why some people sit there and go, well, rules are made to be broken. Well, some rules ain't. You don't want to get caught in that catch-22. Oh Lord, I think that would be a little too premature, man. We're already in destruction with ourselves. It's in our nature to destroy ourselves. We're weak and feeble-minded people as a whole. I mean, we're in a hurry going nowhere. And yeah, like I said, we need to slow down to begin with. Because this is a big deal, too. You want to know another reason why people are getting scared, too? Because of everybody... Well, not everybody's doing it, but, like, if you've got a Well, I guess if it is a hybrid, too, but mostly the pure electric cars, they're not hard to hack into and actually control them. So you could actually off somebody. And unless you're leaving behind some kind of digital footprint, it might look like a fucking accident. Yeah, because they got these high-tech computers in there, and it ain't hard for somebody to break into this son of a bitch like a database, because it is. That's one thing that they're worried about, and they're trying to tell people, too, with this stupid road shit. I don't know how it coincides with each other. They bring it up because of electric cars. But they said that there's incidents that happen already, and it makes sense, because there are people who are bored out there that have that type of ability, and... Yeah, but cars weren't made to be in and go to sleep in and put them on autopilot like a plane. Yeah, I don't care for that. I don't care for that. I don't. Because I've seen it. Too much. I see it too much. And to sit there and take advantage of something you know that ain't even there to take advantage. Like, this is the thing when it comes to a machine. It ain't perfect. We're built. Oh yeah, they're very quiet. They're very quiet. I don't own one, but I mean, you don't need to own one to know. Hybrids are like that, so. Only thing that I noticed there's been a big problem with, for some odd reason, they're having problems with the straight Teslas, though. A lot of times the batteries will just catch on fire. And not while they're charging, while they're driving. A lot of people being killed from that. No, they are, but a lot of people don't realize they do take a bit to charge. But, you know, hybrids, they're a bit different. Yeah. They be making things looking like they're from fucking 4,000 years from now, though. You see the trucks they make? Well, you don't even have to be blind. You know, they claim eyes wide shut. We blind to what they think they're doing over there, and you know, and that crazy shit. And now we starting to see it all put in our face. And so everybody living under a rock or in denial, you know, there is no more of that. Rapture's coming for people who fucking thought they were going to be able to sweep everything under the rug and hide it in the dark. All that shit comes to the light. And when you've been sitting there fucking trying to play God and, you know, slave master and doing all this fucking crazy shit, that shit, have fun now because you about to go. You about to go. To drive a trailer. All right. Well, I would think. I don't think you'd want to use a car to drive a trailer anywhere. I mean, there are probably normal cars that could, but last time I seen a trailer get pulled, it was by a. I haven't. I mean, unless you're talking like an RV or something, but why you saying they can't? Hey, that's good. Damn pepper in the fucking. I don't like the pepper in that. Pepper in the. At least, hey, at least you got the courage to admit it. A lot of people won't even. They won't even think about it on their own to face themselves. Doubt yourself can be your worst enemy. Stop doubting yourself. Stop putting yourself down. Stop making poor excuses why you're not doing easy things that would help improve your life. Give you a real peace of mind. That's what I would. That's the way I look at things. Yeah. I'm gonna let you know this right now. I don't trust straight electric cars like that. Yeah, people use them. They've proven this and that. The thing is, in my opinion, just my opinion. So it's not gold. It's just opinion, okay? For me, what I know about them and people who've had them and what I've been into, I just don't think the benefits outweigh the risks because there's a lot. I mean, it's almost like when they started making fuel injectors. They had a lot of problems with them. Sometimes out of nowhere, they would just explode and set everybody on fire, and there was no getting away from that. Because 9 times out of 10, that's why they were called fuel injectors. You were on the road on the highway. It took a while for them to, fix that problem, and now it's like that shit's long gone. Now we got to worry about these damn fucking core batteries catching on fire and shit. And a lot of people get burnt up in these Teslas from that shit. I mean, that's common knowledge. I mean, somebody gets killed in a wreckage, that shit's making the news. I mean, all you gotta do is look. People everywhere, it's happening. That's one of the major problems why the stock went down a bit. I don't invest no money in Tesla. I mean, it would probably be smart if you did, but you need to know what you're doing because, like I said, if you don't have your ear to the ground and you're just assuming things and grasping at straws, you better pray that you can lose the money that you stake because if it's money that's already spent, don't mess with stocks or crypto or none of that stuff. Make sure that you can afford to lose it because if you can't, don't do it because then you're just really gonna fuck yourself up. Like with me, I did a lot of recon on shit. I wish I would have got back into it when I had my head in my ass. Bitcoin started in 2008. I started getting in trouble. I quit getting in trouble like a year after that. So, and I didn't start with crypto till I don't know a couple of years ago, and I didn't really start. But it's easy to make money. It's honestly if you got common knowledge, you don't need insider trading tips. Yes, no, you're absolutely right about the. Let's all agree to that. There is no having to agree to that. That should just be a given. That's like general principles. Like that's what I live off of. That's why it's not about getting into it with somebody. You got morals, and standards. You're not gonna let certain things slide, regardless. But no, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that, James. We do know. Yeah, I just think, hey, you see the trucks they make, the Tesla trucks. They look crazy as hell. They look like they're from like 3,000 years from now. They make them really look futuristic. That's one thing I can say. Some of them don't even look like fucking vehicles, though. That's what I'm like, what the heck is this thing? Some kind of like fucking through time or something? Like, that's what it looks like. It's crazy. Like somebody got one specially made and they were pulling it out, and I was like, what the hell is that? An APC? With a makeover outside? A cosmetic makeover? That's what I fucking thought it might have been, a mini APC. We're just too extra when it comes to all that shit. I mean, I've seen people take fucking cars and put a fucking skull on the fucking front of it as an emblem, and you got a skull ring, and all you gotta do is take the ring and touch it, and it starts it. Yeah, I don't. He says a total recall. Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to do that, but the thing is, the past is behind us, the present's now, and the future is forward. So, all we can do is sit here and try to steer our way the best way we can, because most things are out of our control. That's why I try to tell people, like, take it easy, pull it out of overdrive, put that bitch in neutral for a minute, sit back and look at things, because it seems like you just so quick to fucking just get life done and over with. And most people are ignorant to the fact of what's going on. That's by default what's really happening. Like, they got us going like that anyways, and it's like I said, you don't wake up on your own. They're banking on that. They don't give a shit. Let's just put it this way. When it really comes down to it, only people who win, the government and the funeral parlors. No matter what's going on. So it's good to try to get your own footing. Not to sit there and undermine people, but it's like, if you can't help yourself, you can't help nobody else. That's all there is to it too. It's another thing nobody wants to talk about. That's why I tell you, everybody who does that ignorant stuff, they misunderstood, or they just full blown want to be that way. They lowered themselves to that standard. If they're misunderstood, then they might have a chance. But those people want to sit there and say those. That's why I gotta laugh at it, because it's like, wow, you only wish that was. If it did, you probably would have won the lottery. But you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself. So don't be going around with a cape or, doing this or doing that. Take care of yourself, your responsibility, your obligations. Otherwise, nothing good's really going to come of anything. Don't get me wrong. I like to take care of, things too. But it's like sometimes you got to let certain things go. Especially if it ain't connected to you directly. And you don't want to be around anybody who don't got your best interests at heart, let alone theirs. People who doubt your ambitions, shit like that. Tell you can't do it. Tell you shouldn't do it. Especially if there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. And I'm not saying something you think's wrong and they think's right. I'm just saying, like, for instance, getting a job. Keeping a job. Maintaining a job. Some people look at things different. Some people feel like they don't need a job, ever. I used to be one of them people. But I worked throughout my life. But I'll never have another job now. The job I have is the job I'll be keeping. That's all there is to it. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, we're here for a very short time. So we got to make the best of it. You're damn right, James. You're damn right. Got to make the best of this. Because any second be your last. We don't know any better by default, but it's like, good thing we don't live forever like this, because you see what people do when they're bored with the essence of life, every fiber in their being they have right now. This is just a vehicle, man. We're going somewhere else, so like, you got people doing ignorant shit there. Imagine, and we're not, we're supposed to make the best of this. Imagine that's not going to go too well for the next row. You don't even realize how short things are. It seems like yesterday I was 9. But I guess today, according to Homeboy, I'm 45. Glad I'm not. But hey, that shit comes with the territory with everything. If we all had a nickel every time somebody said something, some bullshit like that had no substance, no credibility, we all would be rich. We would all be fucking rich. That's why the best thing you can do is just sit there and just wait it out, just whatever. Hey, if you know what the fuck you're doing in life, that type of shit's not gonna be like you're just gonna sit there and state the obvious. Well, hey, buddy, nice try. But you like, no, no. We got life is actually more shorter than people know. And then like on top of it, your destiny. Most people don't know their destiny or what kind of legacy they'll leave, whether they'll be famous and infamous or be known just for, being what they should have been or being what was meant to be. So people need to start taking that in. Well, a couple months ago they were trying to make it pretty much to where robots were going to start taking over everything. That's why they started doing that self-checkout shit at Walmart. Amazon started bone crushing people and started bringing AI robots in. Well, it's gotten to the point where Walmart came to the realization that if they want to keep their lifeblood and keep that money rolling, they're not going to make people use their own personal time to check out because that's making us, we're coming in there. They got the expression, the customer's always right. Well, when you're in a store and you come to check out, well, here I am, the customer. We should not have to sit there and do that. Now, I've used them plenty of times. But now, you're lucky if there's a couple in there now because now they've got people all through them. They're ripping them out. But then, like I said, you got places like Amazon that downsizing because it's 100 times cheaper and more efficient for them to pull in robots to be on assembly lines to go back and forth and up and down. And that'll never happen where I work. And that's one thing I'm happy about. That'll never happen where I work. No, you can't have life without death, but no, it's not the end. It's not the end. It's not the end, good or bad. There's something else happening. Oh, most definitely. Now, everybody has the right to their own innuendo when it comes to that, so. But yeah, there's most definitely something else. There's most definitely something else. They say life is nothing but a dream. Most people don't wake up. Or, like this. You're having a dream, right? Where you're drowning in the dream, right? But if you don't wake yourself up in a certain amount of time, you'll actually die in real life. That's mind over matter. And that shit actually happens. Like, you don't wait, like, that has actually happened to people before. People actually woke up almost damn near done. Like, gasping for air because it got so real in that other dimension that, that if he wouldn't wake up, he would have drowned in his sleep. That shit actually happens. Actually, worse than that happens. People go through some terrifying things through dreams. You'd be surprised how surreal things can get. Oh, most definitely, they wander around us as we speak. Good and bad. Spirits and aura of negative and positivity of all likings. Oh, yeah. All shapes and means, yes. Oh, yeah. But, on top of that, too, it's like, I'm not no necromancer and I'm not no mystic. So I'm not going to try to. Oh, but there's people who have damn near did. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, too. Because you just don't. You died from a dream that does that to you. You could die of an aneurysm, anything. Stroke in your sleep. Yeah, there's also people who have died and been brought back to life. Are we saying that what they seen while they were clinically dead and now they're alive is deluded illusions of grandeur and glory? Because you can't say that it was the morphine, because a lot of them weren't on morphine because it wasn't a surgery. I don't know. Some people, like I said, everybody's got their own line and shape on this. So, for instance, my ma, she was in ICU, uh, in a coma for like 40 something days before she came out of it, and she said that she was getting pulled closer and closer to it, but then it was in time. She started getting pulled back. I'm supposed to sit there and say, hey, you're full of it. I wasn't gonna argue with her because I didn't go through what the fuck she went through. But you're right. You are right, though. You can't ask somebody who's already dead what's going on. You can't. Unless you got some kind of secret power, but. I. You want to know? I've said this before. I say it again. I feel like I remember being in the womb. It felt like it was dark, calm, and peaceful. And honestly, it felt like a place you didn't want to leave. Even though you really couldn't comprehend what you were, it just the feeling you had. That's how I felt. This is all we got here. Here, let me explain something to you. We can sit here and debate on the color of the sky, or if the sun's a burning out star, or whether common dots become astronauts. But this is really the fine lining. All this stuff we have around us that we're doing is just a series of distractions before the next life. We're not able to take any of this stuff with us. Why do like food, our phones, whatever people fucking take advantage of or love or thrive on? We're not being able to take our shoes with us and this and that. And, one prime example of how that is completely true is because of what the Egyptians did. They would bury their pharaohs and the people with wine, gold, everything for the afterlife because they thought it would go with them. They had that mindset. So think about that. And that stuff still sat there and just withered away. So whether it went with the spirit or not, we don't own nothing. Our souls ain't even ours to bargain with. Why do you think they play that game? Why do you think they play that game and make you think that you do? Our souls aren't to be bargained with. So people who bargain with them, you don't even have the power to do it to begin with. So when you take a power you don't have and extort it, you got to deal with everything that comes with that. That's why I'll never do anything. You got to understand certain things. I've been through a lot of stuff. I felt, when certain things are happening. Just like, how certain people say they have awakening or there's a thing called divine intervention. As much as that sounds unrealistic, that shit's real. And it's been shown, and it shows that anything's possible. See? Hey. Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes that's just how it goes, though. That's how the cookie crumbles. But whatever's going to go on in the next part it is what it is. How it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. Just like we're trying to control the weather. And then we got, that stupid Doppler radar that tells us what's going to happen. That gives you an estimate. That's not going to mean that's exactly what's going to happen. They told us we were going to have storms all night and this and that. We didn't have storms all night. It rained, but it didn't rain. It rained for like an hour. Hard. There you go. Now that's a peace of mind. At least they'll be, side by side. Some people prefer to be planted. Some people want to be planted with their loved ones. Some people want it. Some people want to, get burnt up. Some people want to be frozen in stasis. cryovac so they can get brought back later, supposedly, or at least their heads and stuff like that. Or you got that crazy fucking shit going on where you want to live forever. They do that shit I was telling you about yesterday. That shit's been going on for a hot minute. But like I said, that's like big money. Big money. But supposedly they make it affordable for people like us because they were having these expos where people were walking in and out like, what the hell's going on in here? And it's scary. All I could think about when I was watching it, the expo, and watching these people actually debate on doing it, and then watching the process, I was like, holy shit! All I could remember is like Blade 3, the Harvest, when they had those harvest banks, and all them people were fucking in them fucking stuck on a thing with silicone over them, and then they're getting a feeding tube. They got a whole, everything's for everything, but they're being harvested for their blood. That's almost like what they do to you with what I'm telling you about with the thing. Only they take everything that you've gone through, everything you have, all your memories and your intellect and everything. They download it onto a chip. And they stick it in another. They shut your body down, not completely, but it's their version of immortality. Other than like whatever the weird people be doing. You got people who do certain things that make them feel like they're going to live forever or make them do this or do that. Not that they're going to wait. Yeah, and that's like another big thing, too. It's like nobody wants to take... No, we're too busy trying to do what we got to do. So while we all scurrying from point A to point B, who's got their finger really on the pulse? We don't even... you think you know everything. We don't. That's why I'm telling you, that song, The Grapevine, you better take that in consideration big time. Nothing of what you hear and half of what you see. Because I'll tell you, you would be very surprised on what's going on. You got a lot of people who want to sit there and throw out disinformation, make things up. The things are going on now, we just in a rush. Like, I liked it growing up. Yeah, there were cell phones, but you had to have a lot of money, and they were like a brick. They were like a brick. They were just not used for phones. People were breaking them over people's heads and shit because they're just so big. You got somebody aggravated that had one, they would just clock you with it before anything because it was just so fucking big and protrusive. Just... I'm not talking satellite phones either. Those are just badass, but you don't need no satellite phone unless you bouncing around fucking playing Where's Waldo or hiding from fucking ghetto birds and black ops and fog and anybody else that's out there trying to get you. Whoever's after you, you obviously are trying to keep yourself in concealment. You want to make sure you got something that's going to be able to get a hold of Elian at any time. Whether he got rescued or he's still out there floating. How about that stuff, man? I really don't like talking about it a lot, but like, he talked about AI. You want to know what's real scary I've been seeing in that war now? Those drone bombs. That shit's scary. And it's sad to watch one chase a fucking person around like the person's a fucking Chiricahua, a wild turkey. Because it's like they play with them. It's almost like the thing has some emotion, like whether they're being remote controlled or not, a preset with a script. It's sickening. Shit's starting to get like beyond. Too quick, too fast. Nobody wants to slow the fuck down. Warfare has just turned different. And then everybody's want to point bombs at everybody and go, well, I can hit the button and bank that. Everybody does this and does that. What's going to happen is everything's just going to go kabooey. And, it's almost like a national, or not a national, but like a worldly reset. We don't want, I don't know. We can only control certain aspects of our own life, let alone what's fucking going around in this world. So, like, by default, I hang around maybe 3 or 4 different people, and not all the time because we don't have the luxury to, because we're always taking care of stuff. So, like, there is no going out and trying to have new, meet new friends or doing this. It's like when you hear somebody go, "Oh, I got 4,000 friends." Yo, you do? Call them, see if they're gonna help you. Calling them's like turning the lights on, and there's roaches everywhere. They're just gonna scatter. They're gonna fucking scatter. The shit hits the fan, you'll find out who your real friends are. I'm just stating the obvious. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. You gotta think of things on both sides. Just because we're on one side, not the other, you gotta put yourself in that position sometimes to have a better perspective of things. For you. Another big deal, too, is the whole, well, let's push this and push that as our narrative and do this and do that. And they wonder why things are such at a crucial point here in America. I mean, it's to the point now where your average teenager outguns, can outgun, and I'm not saying they do outgun the police, and God forbid most of the time they're with, and it doesn't matter if it's a kid or not. No kid should be running around with assault rifles, or let alone a gun that has a conversion switch on it that turn it into a fucking a wannabe little Mac 10 or something. Because if anybody's ever seen anybody trying to blow one of these son of a gun, especially a shorty, you want to know what they do? They close their eyes and go like this. And you think they hit what they're aiming for? Hell no, they hit everything but that. They hit everything but that. And then they wonder why the next day their brains are on display on the fucking road or something. And it's fucked. Because nobody's going to let that shit slide. You better pray you get picked up by the cops. If you went out and accidentally hit a little innocent or something, you're out there trying to play that shit. Because if they don't get a hold of you, you will be twisted on the ground with whoever the fuck you did that to. You will become a product of your own environment very quick. Actual, factual. And it's crazy because they don't want to tell you none of the shit. They don't, hey, just go out and do this, you'll be fine, this and that. You know, this is the big thing about that, how it's so easy to pull somebody in. Nobody want to tell you that. You don't need to be out there doing that shit to go out and be a man or to go out and do the wrong thing. To go be a savage in the street or whatever. You don't need to be out there gangbanging or doing any of that shit to do that. Anybody can go out and do that shit. It's just, it makes it more detrimental for you at that crucial point in your life where you're literally picking, do I hop off the porch or do I stick to what I know is right? Pressure, peer pressure, most of the time not having not having a even keel family. And a lot of times people, some of the kids come from good families and have both parents in their lives, and it's still not enough. And until it's too late, the parents don't know they're out living a double life. Oh, I'm good at home. I make great at school, or sometimes they don't even know they're not going to school. Why do you think fucking Chicago was the teachers were on strike for God knows how long? A few years back. What do you think all those kids were doing? Homeschool? Hell no. Oh, extra go out and kill day. So for the ones that were trying to keep their head clear, it made it worse for them. And then for the ones that were in there already doing it, it just added fuel to the fire. Because they're like, fuck yeah. No school? Now I totally got a reason to go out and fucking do this shit. And they don't think about what comes with it. They don't think about that shit. Because you'll be lucky if you get the choice of getting locked the fuck up and sitting in a cell for the rest of your life vegetating. You know, a lot of times, you know, that they're not waiting for the cops to come back and get you. They do that, wash their own laundry. So that whole collateral damage, spiderweb effect is already happening. I don't know. Some people just gotta go through certain things, and some people are just destined to go through certain things. We're all destined for great and unfortunate things. You defined what you impact as your legacy and your destiny. Sometimes you can sit there and try to alter your destiny, but I would sit there and be trying to say that you played God too. Our destiny's already in stone. When we're born, there's already a clock on us. Don't clock it out. Job's here to get ready for what's happening next. This is just a small little piece of the puzzle that's beyond our comprehension. But if you went through certain things in life and you've experienced certain things, you would know that there is other beings and There's a higher power for everybody, and a lower, whatever you prefer. Because we're made half and half. We're half evil, half good. That's how we were made up. We're also given free will, though, so we could choose which one of that we wanted to do. When and how, where and why. So don't desensitize yourself to the fucking point that you get to where you're on autopilot and you don't realize what the fuck you're doing. Because then when you do wake up, it's almost like what happened with Chris Benoit. He went into a roid rage. He blacked out. When he came to and realized what happened, he realized that inadvertently he massacred his whole family. Okay? So you see why he did what he did to himself. And we've seen what that did. That didn't help anybody. His best friend, any of that. And the whole thing that led up to that, like, and that happened, there was a situation where this guy called the police. I don't know what city it was in, but it's some scary shit. I don't know. And that's another thing too. People getting possessed by things. That can happen. This guy though, he called the police and he was like, "Hey, one of my buddies is shot over at my house. You need to get over here. He's bleeding out." Well, the cops pull up, right? They pull up. And there's like 3 or 4 of them coming to the thing, and he's standing in the doorway, just with some shorts on, and he's standing in the doorway, he's looking at him to the right, and, nobody can see anything because he's blocking the doorway, but he's looking into, like, the living room part. And he's like, "Hurry up, my guy's in here coughing on blood. He's choking on blood, hurry up." And they got the EMTs with them and everything. And the first cop that's, like, in the front line, he's, like, walking up to him, and he's damn near, like, 10 feet and closing. And he goes, "Who's all in here?" And the guy hurry up and turns around and goes, "Just me," and starts shooting at him, and kills a couple of them. That's some fucked up shit too. But we can't. We got to try to keep our mind on the even keel. So like when you see that stuff, you gotta take it for what it is. And even though it's complete bullshit, it was meant to happen. It had a cause. Whether we can understand it or not, whether you want to get anything out of it or not, the message was, you better be more aware in your settings than you are. But then. Again, it's like we're all human, we try to be the best we can when we can, and some people try to be the worst they can whenever they can. Which you're gonna get what you give. But those cops were going there to help somebody. The EMTs. I even think an EMT got shot too. Because there was like 4 or 5 cops and the EMTs were all coming up. And I just remember he just kept telling them, "Hurry up, come on." With his one hand. He had his other hand like this. He had the gun in his left, and he was going like this with his right, just standing there. And, right when they start getting close, he's like, "Who's all in here?" Because he's like, "My guy's choking on blood. Hurry up, hurry up." Right when they got close, and he's like, "Who's all in here?" The dude just turned around and was all in and was like, "Just me," and started just thumping him. Thumping him. I mean, he wasn't even done saying me, and he was already shooting. That's how quick it happened. Oh, yeah, he had to drop on him even though he was outnumbered. He got killed, suicide by cop, or whatever happened. I don't know. I didn't care for that. I really didn't care for it. That'd be happening a lot too. But what we also have too is a lot of negativity with it comes to the law enforcement. As much as they're out there trying to help you, you got them so stereotyped with other people. And I'm not talking label them. They've labeled themselves. It seems like no matter where you go, you got somebody, just not one of them. You got a little circle that comes out of the big circle that is just fully corrupt. I mean, more crooked than a fucking politician's back. That has fucking I don't know, whatever they call that. That curves your back. Just crooked as hell. Crooked. And they get away with stuff for a while, but then when the shit comes back, it's like, there's no... How do you fight that? How do you fight that? Especially when you're sitting there and they're telling you, "Well, we got DNA evidence right here. You've been doing this. You've been pulling people over and raping them, or you've been pulling people over and dropping, planting drugs on them. Your DNA's on that stuff." And then there's times where these guys get so they get so used to having their way because they think they control things. When they're only supposed to be doing their job, serve and protect, when it's really not. uh, their camera, their body cams. Sometimes they'll shut them off and then they'll actually hit them on back on while they're doing their dirty deed, and that's how they get caught too. But it's not hard to figure out what's going on, especially you start seeing a lot of weird shit. And you got a lot of people that are just like, "There's no way, there's no way." I mean, you know what that does to a person? You plant something in their car while you're searching it, looking for something, and they know there's nothing in the car, and then you just ruin their fucking day, let alone part of their life. They cannot come back from that. Or, you know, the cops get pulled in and they're like, you know what? We're doing this investigation. Unfortunately, your name came up, so, you know, we would like to, because you're law enforcement, we have to fucking, let's just clear you out. Let's get it done with. And before you know it, there's no clearing it out. They're trying to get him to just confess. And it's like, hey, we got your DNA. You've locked yourself into 2 separate stories, and you don't even realize it, because you said you lived over here at this time, a couple years ago. Now you're over here. You said you never hung out with this one lady, but you helped her bring her stuff into her place. Well, the last time you were in her place, that was the last time she was seen alive. Now she's dead and was sexually assaulted, just like the person that you said you didn't touch when you lived conveniently on the other side of the country. And you were a cop there but got transferred. You know, like, you'd be very surprised. You know, sometimes they use that as, like, instead of embracing it, they extort it. And, you know, ultimately, if nobody knows about it, nobody's going to know about it until after the fact they get fried. Almost like, this ain't law enforcement, but like, hey, what about BTK, that crazy fuck? You know all the victims he had, all the videotapes he made, everything they got a hold of. You know, he had the devil's own luck. They could never get him on any murders, even though he murdered most of his women and never let very few of them go. The ones who he let go, that was like for those women, after they realized what the fuck they were up against, after it was all said and done, the few women that got away, that was like for them winning the lottery and being struck at lightning at the same time. It just doesn't fucking happen. That's almost like a form of divine intervention, whether you're saying, oh no, he was just lazy that day. No, that guy wasn't lazy. That guy could have been anything he wanted to be other than what he was. Just like all the other sick fucks. Those guys could have been fucking massive pillars in a positive way. Communities, our world. Instead, they became infamous and are known for uncalled for things. They use their, you know. So, don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. Some people get too big for their fucking britches. And then you got the ones like crazy Gary Ridgway. He admitted that it got to the point where he was having his way so long that he purposely started fucking up so he would get caught. Then you got ones that just walk right in. Hey, you got to get somebody out here. I need to spill the beans. I'm going to disembowel myself. For the last, up 10 years, I've been doing this and this, state to state. Or like, you just don't know sometimes. So you really got to watch who you're around. Like, I used to be a very big people person. As much as you might like people don't like you sometimes. You don't even know it. Sometimes people don't like you from the cut of your jib. Or almost like what you get on here. They look at you for a split second and they already know who the fuck you are and everything you've done, supposedly. Hey. Go ahead. Be Ryan Fingal and try to fucking kick that field goal that everyone can do with their eyes closed. Now you just lost the Super Bowl. Oh, no. If you assume the wind was blowing this way at 16 fucking degrees and this many miles per hour and this and that, temperatures are just fine, no major climate change, and you kicked it thinking it was fucking 9 degrees opposite side, what do you think's going to happen? You're not going to make it. You got to know exactly what you're doing. You got to take your time. Just like, God forbid, you got to blow a gun. You pull on the trigger, you squeeze the trigger. Got people out there thinking a toy is a gun. A gun is a toy. It's not. It is not. And it's to the point now between things that should not be happening, like school shootings, that happen with impunity almost. These people are able to get away with it. It's just, in their mind, they're like, oh, worst case scenario, life in prison. Or, death. What is it? Then we're all taking care of them. Oh God, you up on that again? You up? Yeah, you want my opinion for everything? Hey, are you doing bets trying to cover the spread? You should be for real. I think you over there just making bets. You asking me what you want, so you want my opinion on all these guys. You just came back and that was the first thing you want. You over there making money, huh? Or trying to. Hey, chances make champions. You won't know unless you try. But you know what they say about that. Just like the casino. The longer you play, the longer you lose. In the end, you lose it all. So by default, you go in there with like $200, and an hour later, hour and a half later, you're up 3,700. I would turn it around and move it like I was in fast forward. Yeah, I would move it like I was in fast forward because if you fucking think that you're gonna sit there and double it and keep doubling, it's just not gonna fucking happen. No, 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 no. Especially if you're bouncing around from different games too. No, 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 no. And yeah, you're better off fucking just starting a fucking donation, like a foundation. Donate your money to it and make something good out of it. Don't go throw your money at a foundation because you don't, unless you know the people who are running it, you have no idea if that money's even fucking being used for it. It might be going right into somebody's fucking pocket for their new fucking desk or a Persian rug or some crazy fucking shit for their office. Because, or a bottle of 1941 wine or some shit, just need to know what's happening. Just like another thing that was busting with me bad. Remember, like when the hurricanes were really tearing shit up, New Orleans and all that shit. Remember how, like when that should be happening, how FEMA gets involved. Well, tell me why did they give a whole bunch of people that were homeless trailers that were toxic and were killing them because they were holding biohazard material, and then on top of it, they weren't even pulling those things off. Like there were signs that were like under certain upholsteries that these people would find where it said this place held beware, don't be in here, radioactive, all sorts of shit. Then you got these people in these makeshift trailer parks out in the middle of nowhere, just withering away, being ate up by radiation and shit. That was some stuff too that was a little rough. Yeah, but if you're not the one running it, you just throw it at a foundation that you're blind to what's going on. You don't really know what's happening. So unless you're running it yourself or you have somebody that's managing it and you're the one who's giving step-by-step plans on how it's going to roll, nobody has their finger on the pulse. I mean, how many times do we hear somebody go, "Oh, I'm giving $1 million here," or Bill Gates fucking went and put a well in over here and got this. Well, whether he did that as a smokescreen or not, why are you trying to buy up all the farmland in the United States? And then why was last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that, all the farmers, including the ones in my state, all got letters saying, you will not harvest your crops because otherwise we'll come through and spray Agent Orange on them with crop dusters, poison, and destroy your fucking, insult your fields and fucking destroy your fields so they won't be able to grow crops. Or you could do this, and it was almost like a form of eminent domain. You can grow your crops, you're going to destroy them, and we'll pay you for doing it. And that's exactly what a lot of it happened with a lot of people, a lot of them. You going to tell me I'm making that up too? Because that was happening. I mean, it was to the point where you had these fucking farmers literally like, this is so sickening. Like, I am going against everything I'm doing. But, and you watch them destroy their crops after the end of the year just so the fucking lands don't get destroyed and they actually get paid for it. Only they're not getting paid the way they should. They're not making it the way they would in their normal livelihood. They're being forced into that option. You might as well just say an ultimatum because they would get a letter. They get a letter in the mail. And those letters are everywhere. You think these people got rid of those letters? Hell no. And I thought, I'm not gonna lie, when I first started hearing about it, I thought it was a big fucking joke. No, it's not. It's not. Not at all. And I'm not saying they're still doing it now, but it's like there's a lot of things people don't know about, and then when we find about it, it's almost too late for anybody to do anything, even if we were able to try. It's like everyone's got their own intentions, everybody's got their own ambitions, everybody's got their own agendas. What we need to do is worry about our own situations, and what affects us and what doesn't. Damn, cats getting into it, playing grab ass with each other. Myra don't want to play with Gidget. Come here, kitty. Say hi. You don't. She just made right. This is the one who thinks she's a marsupial. Yeah, crazy Gidget. Beady little eyes. She doesn't even act like a cat. She don't even act like a cat. She don't. She acts like a bear, a marsupial, all sorts of stuff. And when she hisses, there's a little pants. She doesn't do. Other cats, they do these big long hisses where they open up and expose their mouth so they almost like they're showing you teeth like vampires. This one does them little short. So like, she comes from a different origin, but she comes from a rough beginning too. Her ma was trying to bring her and the litter across the road to the other side, and not over by my place, but somewhere where some people I know work, and got hit. She was the only one that fucking survived, almost like with Pinky over here at my place. I think that's why she likes Pinky, but she gets along with everybody. I mean, she has dates with raccoons, and all the fucking male cats like to come up to the window and talk to her. So she gets it in, and Pinky, I've never seen Pinky so calm with her around, but she wants to be around Pinky so bad. I'm almost convinced they could sleep in a box together, but that can't happen either because she's inside kitty. She likes to try to get outside, but like I said, when she first got brought home, the neighbor had her, and the cats that were around her when she was inside didn't care for her, so she would stay up on a bin, a bin that you use to pack shit and store shit in, on a big bin. So I would open the door and I would talk to her from the door to the bin, and I did that like 13 days straight, and then on the 14th day, she actually came off it and she crawled up my leg, and then I just brought her home. I said, "Hell, you're the third one that you make it, boom." So, but she got bigger than everybody else. She keeps trying to charge under the bed after Myra. Myra's like, "Leave me alone. I'm gonna keep spanking you." But yeah, she's a little bullish. Wow, take it easy. God, she's rough. When she scratches me, she actually makes me bleed. I really gotta watch when I play with her. And her shit's dull. Like I said, she's got something going on. Yeah. Yeah, she thinks I'm dad. She's very affectionate though, but she's ready. Like she's got so much adrenaline, and like now that it's nighttime, oh, she's fucking on buggy patrol. She's trying to bite up. She's trying to nip everyone's ass at their legs and stuff. Like I said, she started getting smacked by Myra. Myra smacked her in the face and bit her, and then ran under the bed. Well, after I had her and I let her go, she tried to go and tried to rush the fucking under the bed and got smacked again, and then hurry up and ran over here, tried to do like a vertical climb on the side of this chair, and then hurry up and shot out like a fucking bottle rocket. She's just all over the place, like Phantom of the Opera. Oh yeah, she's fucking just everywhere. But yeah, they get pretty kooky at night. She'd be liking to raise a havoc in here. But they just having fun. They gotta release their shit. By default, cats, felines, not all of them, but by default, most of them, they sleep about 75-80% of their life away. Yeah. That's by default. So, that's like normal for them to, have multiple naps or be cashed out. But, they got that nocturnal presence in them. They got that in their DNA, so that flip switches. Especially when you got that night vision, you can roam around, see things out dark windows and in the dark. Like, there's times where I'll be walking through, trying to go to use the bathroom tonight or trying to go get something to drink, and she'll come out of nowhere. I don't even know where the fuck she's at. because she looks like a Russian blue. She smoked gray. She looks like Myron, but she's just huge. And out of nowhere, I'll feel something start coming somewhere, and then they grab me by the back of my leg and start biting my ankles. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, like, damn, take it easy on me. Or like if I go to take a shower and close the door, somehow she's always in there with me, and then she throws herself up against the back of the door like a dog, so nobody can open it. And she wants to be in there, and I'm like, I've never seen a cat so comfortable with water. I mean, cats are natural swimmers by default, but they don't like most of them don't like water. Palace cats do because they live in like swampy areas, and they go and they will jump and dive into waters. Cheetahs will, but like average cat won't go into water if they don't got to. If they ain't got to, but they can swim. They got their frog suits. They know how to do that little. Yeah, if they have to, they don't need to learn how to swim. They know how to swim. That's second nature. Nobody got to teach them how to swim. But no, most of them don't like water. And then you get crazy ones that you see on like, you know, social media or something that are submerged on purpose. Like they'll jump into a bucket of water and submerge themselves, and then all you see is like their nose and their mouth, almost like with crocodiles and alligators when they go into hibernation. How they just have their snout above the frozen line. Yeah, because they turn themselves to stasis mode. And then, you know, the weather, when it gets warm, that wakes them back up. As long as their nose and snout's above when it freezes, they're fine. And you go to a certain spot, you'll see that everywhere. Especially if they have the place infested, like it's theirs. Oh, yeah. You'll be like, what the hell is that? Some people don't even know what it is sometimes. They're like, what the heck? Yeah. Hey. Nature. Or, you know. Yeah, they're so heavy and they're very dangerous. Very dangerous. And they're from the prehistoric era too. They outlived the dinosaurs just like the possums, the marsupials. So I like turtles though. I used to raise turtles. I quit raising them because my little cousins come over to my house one day years back, and I had a turtle that was given to me by one of my older cousins, fresh from an egg from their work. They found them. They don't work with them. They found a nest of them. And they grabbed it, gave me a little light with it. The son of a bitch hatched a week later. And a little turtle. Little painting turtle. Then I had myself a little snapper. These guys were decent. Now, snappers and alligator snappers are aggressive by default. That's just in their nature. But the alligator snappers, they look more prehistoric than anything because they start growing spikes on them, on their edges. They got the double head beak. I mean, a normal snapper can rip through your flesh and break your bone and drain everything and take it all. But they only got the top part as a beak. Those snappers, they got both. And literally, you know, they're so Gustavo, if you mess with them and you keep poking them or they end up getting a hold of you, a lot of times they will not let go. You have to cut it, they'll have to cut the head off. I've seen people get fucked up from them things and literally they won't let go. Like, this was years ago, and this was just with a normal snapper. People were making turtle soup with the snappers, and yeah, I've had it before. It was good, but I don't eat like that. I've had rattlesnake before, stuff like that, but they were you know getting the snappers ready for it. One of these motherfuckers got a hold of the guy because this is the thing. Their necks come out a lot longer than you think, and they're quicker than you know, especially if you underestimate them. Do not placate them. If you placate them, you're asking to be maimed. Something. Oh yeah. Almost like when they grab you up not to cover your arm. Long sleeve or short sleeve. How much and how long? That's what they're gonna do. And I remember the guy, yeah, he was a little drunk, so he was used to having his way with these turtles, and he had about 18 of them. Almost 2 dozen. And he was like the third or fourth one he was going through, and you know, he had a certain way of doing it. Well, this son of a bitch got a hold of him and bit him, right? And he could not get the son of a bitch to let go, and he was so prostrated with pain and freaking out that he took his knife, his big ass fucking Bowie knife, like a Rambo knife, and stuck it right through the middle of it, right through the back of it, all the way through, pinned it to the ground. Do you think that stopped the turtle, or the turtle flinched? It made the turtle lock on even harder. Because he wasn't thinking right. He didn't know no better, so he just, on impulse, had to go cut that guy, cut his head off. Somebody had to come over and cut his head off. Then he let go, and guess what? He didn't let go willingly. They had to pry his head open after they decapitated him. His mouth was still clenched on, almost like with a snake. Certain snakes out there, you cut their heads off. For a while, they still have movement in the brain function. That head can still bite you, and do the same thing they would if it was connected, or it doesn't happen a lot. But somebody got it on record before. Cut the head off. The head fucking bit the body. You watching the body wiggling around, going crazy. Yeah. But no, that's bad luck. Somebody gets bit by a snake head after it's been decapitated from the body. That sucks. Just like a lot of people don't understand, when it comes to that shit, how valuable a snake is when it comes, trying to make that anti-venom, because you need so much of their venom. And that is so dangerous. Just a little bit, milligrams of it is so dangerous. Necrotizing effects, all sorts of shit. They're worse than getting sulfuric acid poured on you. You know what I'm saying? It just starts killing everything, destroying everything in you. Shutting shit down, your nervous system. Coagulates your blood. Blood clots, all sorts of shit. But you need a whole bunch of that shit. Liters and liters to make a vial of anti-venom. So that's why you got places that they milk them snakes faithfully. And believe me, you don't want to get hit with any of that shit. Even you luck out if you get a dry bite. That's like winning the fucking lottery and somebody paying for your ticket. You get a dry bite by one of these son of a bitches. They say 1 in every 3,000 bites is like a dry bite, where they, by default, they don't throw no venom because they ain't got none. It's just they just don't do it because it was just the way it's supposed to be. Most people don't get that lucky. There was a guy who was walking across, doing a Forrest Gump, and he got bit on the ankle, and it wasn't a dry bite, and he damn near died. He didn't though, and he came back, continued his search. I don't know. He got bit by a sidewinder or something that was poisonous, but it almost sent him to the sky. He was out of commission for a little bit, but he went right back to what he was doing after. He completed his shit. So he was totally watching for snakes. I mean, he had an entourage of people following him. So now he was gets like an onion. Everybody's walking with sticks and stuff. It's like I said, sometimes you don't see that shit, or you step on one, it turns around and bites your ass. Because by default, they're not out looking for us. It's not like we're out in the Everglades or in the Amazon and an anaconda's hungry, and the last food it had was a moose or something, and it sees us oh, there's an egg roll, or a pizza roll. Let's go have a little quick snack before we get the main course, because that's what we would be. That's what we would be to them. People don't realize how strong these snakes can get. Don't underestimate snakes like that. You don't want to ever be undermining those things like that, because it's just... Or if you have pets, boa constrictors, albino pythons, stuff like that, they don't have to be poisonous. Let them have their way with you too long, and they're going to get you in that constriction, and they're going to squeeze the fucking life out of you, and every time you breathe, they're going to keep squeezing. Because that's their method. I don't know, 2-3 times until the dude had to get rid of the snake, get all drunk and pull a snake out. Big ass dumb albino python. End up having to it was given away to the zoo, Brookfield Zoo, eventually. Years back in the early 2000s. And he had to pull this son of a bitch out. He just had to every time he got drunk. Just had to pull it out. Had to. It was mandatory, fucking required reading. And it would get to the point where this son of a bitch would start losing track of the snake, even though he was the one dancing with the snake, almost like on Wayne's World. How his girl was doing the video shoot with the waterfall and all that, and how she had the snake, one like that size. This motherfucker, he's too busy trying to show the thing off, and the thing is slowly getting him into a way to where people have to they motherfucker get knocked down before you know it. He's not even moving. Like, he's like, what the heck? Like, doesn't even know he's being strangled by the thing. People had to pull it off him. 3 times it happened. They were like, we're not playing baseball. You gotta go get rid of it. And he tried to keep it, and it just didn't work too well because every time he pulled it out, it was always he was drunk. Everybody just got done being at the bar or something. And it would always end with people, multiple people, having to stop what they were doing because they seen him being strangled by his own snake and had to unwrap him. Yeah. And then he'd be like, well, what happened? What do you do with my snake? Because he's so fucking gone. Like, what are you doing? Like they hurt the snake. Yeah. I mean, it got to the point where he called the police on these people because he went to go pull it out again. And they're like, no, you got to get rid of it. They came over. And yeah, when they found out how big it was and... yeah, he had to get rid of it. So he had to go get rid of the zoo. They didn't take the snake. They just said, hey, we're going to follow you or we're calling animal control and then you're going to get arrested for... Yeah, because it was just too big. A lot of people don't understand when they get snakes or get things that grow to their habitat, how big they can actually get. They don't stop growing certain things. So you get people who assume right away, haven't done their recon. What? What do you mean for what? Got arrested for what? For not well, this is the thing. Let's say you live in an apartment or something, right? You only have so many square feet. The thing stays in a cage. No, because the snake was too big for him, that man, and it was beyond guidelines. I mean, every place might be different, but the thing was just too big. He couldn't have it. It was just too fucking big. What I'm trying to get at is this guy knew what he was doing when he had the snake, but not when he was drunk. Like, anytime the snake would get a little bit bigger, shed the skin, he made a bigger habitat for it. Some people, they get one, they never change the aquarium, the setup, and they wonder why the snake doesn't grow. That's because it stays in that habitat that it's in. It's not going to grow until its habitat gets bigger. Well, this guy made it to where, it was almost damn near free range all the time. And then when it was in something, it was in something nice and elegant. But you get a snake that's too fucking big, or you neglect. Let's say that they stumble upon that type of problem. It wasn't just how big it was. It was too big for him to handle anymore. I mean, it was like 13 fucking foot. It was over 10. Now, let's just put it this way. This guy could handle himself, but if you couldn't handle it while bringing it out and people had to stop it from strangling you, and you really didn't comprehend what was going on, or you would just... There's something wrong. But when they seen it and animal control found out about it, they're like, yeah, there's rules and regulations. Why do you think they don't like when people have exotic animals? You got to have licenses for certain of that shit. And then you got to have a habitat that deems suitable, and they have to accept it. If you just hide it, and then they find it, it's just going to be taken away from you and imported. Bye-bye. Or something. Like if I had a fucking hyena here, and I didn't tell nobody about it, and one day it came up and you just heard it fucking... And you're like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? That ain't a spotted dog. No. Oh, that's a hyena. If somebody found out I had that hyena here, there's no way I'd be able to keep it. There's just no fucking way. It doesn't matter if it was a little baby one or it was an adolescent, and it wasn't hurting nobody, and it was completely tame. Because that crying and was giggling, that only helps when they got prides around. That's why they work in packs. But you got that thing isolated, it still doesn't matter. It's not in its habitat. So, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just certain things ain't made to have. If you have the luxury to have it, make sure it has the proper habitat and you're taking care of it. Like if you have a puma or a corkle or something like that, exotic cat, a real exotic cat that's like full-blown blooded and is real big, make sure it's getting what it would get out in the wild. Make sure you're giving it, Don't do, because what you're going to do is you're going to alter it. And then it's going to act like it's got some screws loose, and it's always going to be on some bullshit because it's not getting what it naturally would get by default. Yes, exactly. It's still naturally not. But if you know how people are with a lot of money and a lot of land, they will build a fucking zoo. Almost like what, Michael Jackson did. He never had a childhood. amongst many other things. You know, King of Pop. And he built that Never Ever Land Ranch. That was his habitat to try to be a child again, or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? His mind. To keep him at ease. However you want to put it, however you want to shape it. But that's what I'm trying to get at. When you got money, and money's not the problem. It's nothing to even think about. Those are the type of things that happen. But then you also got things that happen like this. Like in Atlanta. I seen this, what was it, 2 years ago? I need to start writing this shit down. Because I can remember it good, but I can't, it happened in Atlanta. Some big guy, moving shit, drugs. He got his door kicked in, right? And we're talking like a 3-flat. Well, when they got into the basement, you want to know what they found down there? Tigers, bears, but they were babies, and they were in so bad a shape because they were growing, and they already outgrown it, and they were being neglected, that these fucking things were damn near dead. These majestic animals, they were damn near dead. So this guy got more time for the fucking animals in the basement than the drugs they were kicking the door in for. It went from state kicking in the door to them calling the federal government. Oh yeah, and him getting hit with fucking hate crimes and all this crazy shit. Yeah. Or here's a perfect example, and this is just like lie case shit. He's not down anymore, but when my neighbors moved in when they did a couple years ago, they were a couple. Well, now the one guy's gone, and he was a raging alcoholic. Okay? Didn't have his license when I met him. Had a job, good job, but was driving dirty. Would drive drunk. Sober to him was being drunk. Okay. He doesn't have a permit. Nothing. So he's got a DUI. He gets another one. They give him 3 DUIs that night. He bails out right away. He's somebody who's been placated his whole night. His whole life. Born with a silver spoon. Everything. Ass wiped with $100 bills. Probably. Who knows? All I know is this son of a gun comes home, and because he ain't getting his way and can't get nothing done, he starts taking it out on his girlfriend's animals. And he took a kitten and slammed it up against the fucking wall when the cops came, because she pulled up from work and the thing was bleeding and almost looked like it was seizing out. I didn't get to see it, but all I know is I heard the cops. I heard them talk about how they were going to take the big fucking cat toy that they would all climb on and crawl. How about we lay you down and cave your fucking head in? And they're like, she's taking that cat to the clinic. If that vet says, there's some damage in that report, we have to come back and get you. We will, because we don't like you to begin with. But he's like, I don't give a fuck what you. Well, they come back and got his ass. You want to know what happened? Yeah, his bail. Yeah, he got two felonies, 2 misdemeanors, 2 aggravated cruelty and battery to animals, and then 2 just cruelty to animals. The aggravateds were the felonies. The battery, the assault to an animal. He got 2 counts of that and 2 counts of normal. His bail was a little bit more than his DUIs. He bailed out on that. But what ended up happening was fucking activists ended up getting involved and finding out about it because he made the front page. And what's crazy was he tells me about this when he gets out of the jail. He goes to the first gas station. They wouldn't serve him because he was already on the fucking in the front of the patch, and online they would not serve him. They're like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, they were going to have the people outside fucking ring him up. All I know is like a couple days after he bailed out, he got hit with hate crimes because activists got involved. And we're talking animal activists that would go after like people with endangered species. Like if they found out you were fucking, fleecing chinchillas. You know how many chinchillas it would take for a coat? That's why they got that artificial shit now. There's no reason to be doing that shit. There's no reason. And I know what chinchillas are like. They're very, very unique. And they're by fault already an endangered species and have been. They hail from Chile. They're very unique. They don't bathe like cats and animals or birds. They bathe in false volcanic dust. Yeah. Yes, they do. That's how they bathe. So if you can't, they're high maintenance animals. So yes. You literally, like, you take a mason jar and make sure, and they'll go in there and they'll roll around in it and come out. That's like them taking their baths. Because where they hail from, that shit's everywhere. They stay on the island. They hail from island Chile, so Chile might be that, but from what I know of them, and I've taken care of them before. Yeah. Very soft. Very, very soft. Makes velvet feel like fucking brimstone. Oh yeah. But it costs so much money for one of those coats. Now, anybody who practices poaching or any of that shit, you have to live with the fact that if you did that, how many it would take for it. That amount of money doesn't matter if it's 30,000 or 300,000 or 3 million. That's not going to bring those little guys back. And it's like most of the time, if you got people that are doing that, they're not making up for it. Like, oh, we just poached fucking 300 of these things. Let's make 3,000 of them. That's not how it works. You can't let them go around here because they'll die outside. Like I said, they come from a certain environment. You just can't let them go. Just like how prairie dogs are from a certain area. They're here in the United States. People shoot them. They have reasons for shooting them because the horses get their fucking ankles broken and then it's damn near done for them, So they shoot them things in certain areas. Well, we had a prairie dog before. You can't let it go around here. People I know somebody that had one too. They let it go. It made holes everywhere. Well, when it got winter, that motherfucker froze like a fucking popsicle, and he was never seen again. His trails are still around, but he'd make holes from here to there, here to there. And I'm going to talk. They're very good in being subterranean, but they're not made for certain areas. Their climates, their habitats are certain areas, and that's all there is to it. You can't force that unless you're keeping them inside. But some people, they just got to learn. Some people just got to learn the hard way. You know what's bad luck, though? Going to open your mailbox around here, and God forbid there's a fucking black widow in there, and you get bit by it while you're trying to get your mail out. Or God forbid you get bit and there ain't no mail that day. Oh. First time I seen one of those, I was a kid. Here in Illinois. Yeah. With I was playing basketball with my buddy, the one that I kicked out over here, the one who had the great grandparents that took care of him and adopted his mom. Yeah, the one that pretty much burnt it all up, loyalty, all that shit. His grandpa, we had to stop for him to come out of the garage and go to the thing, and he just said that something wasn't right. He said he thought he seen something dark in there, other than it being dark in it by default. Hot summer day, there was a black widow in there. A fucking black widow, like a ma. Yeah, it was fucked up. He would have stuck his hand in there and got bit, it would have been over with. If they got in there somehow, I don't think somebody put it in there, because if they did, they got bad luck. And Grandpa had incredible luck. But no, it was crazy because, authorities were called. We were kids. Authorities were called. Guess what? Animal control. They came and grabbed it. They didn't kill it. They came and grabbed it. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's around all these places. Brown recluses, wolf spiders. Yeah, they pop up. Hey, I don't have to make this shit up. I mean, there's records of this shit. It made the front page of the paper. You'd be funny. Hey, you'd be surprised what you see. What can migrate. Just like back in the day, before we knew it, we used to have the normal ladybugs. Then those Asian ones came over and killed our real ones. Now you don't see the pink ones anymore. You see these orange ones, and you're lucky if you see a red one. I use real ladybugs on my weed plants to eat away the nymphs. The bad ones, because there's good and bad ones. There's a lot of good. Spider mites. Spider mites love to try to fuck your shit up. They're like little fucking... they're like little circus performers, little trapeze artists on there. Don't try to go after them with your hands and shit. You'll end up destroying your plant or actually killing it. Those son of a bitches are like shapeshifters. Real tiny. And they can move around crazy. Fingers start flinging themselves and just drop, cut, bloop, bloop. Like they're fucking little sugar gliders. Or they can do a hurry up and do a fucking 180 around the fucking stalk and you're trying to grab it and it don't work too well. It don't work too well. And they know how to get shit hemmed up in a hurry. So you gotta keep your finger on the pulse on that and you grow stuff outside because you got a lot of bugs. But the ladybugs, they'll stay on your plants and they'll eat everything bad. They'll eat everything bad and guard. And guard. Oh yes, and guard. They'll stay on those motherfuckers because they know things will come. Oh yeah. There's all sorts of stuff, but yeah, they love to eat the nymphs up and the spider mites and amongst many other things they like to pop up in there. That's usually what I would have a problem with out there that I'd have to maintain. But the nymphs come at certain times of the year, but you get these ones that come in and out of the soil. There's good and bad ones in there that like battle for competition. What's crazy is the ladybugs know which ones are good and which ones are bad. That's what's the fucking more fucked up. So they're really intelligent. Because you got some that are eating up certain bacteria in the dirt, keeping the levels, pH levels here and there, whatever. As long as you're doing everything right, you maintaining certain things, you're fine. But then you got ones that'll get down into the roots, start causing root rot. And you'll know what'll happen because your plant will just start dying out of nowhere because they start hollowing out the root, making it rot. There's all sorts of stuff that could happen. Just like they say, too much of a good thing's bad. And that's right. Don't be watering your plants too much, especially when they're flowering. They'll mold from the inside out. Won't be able to. It's not cancer. You can't cut it out. No, you can't. You cannot cut it out. You just gotta sit there and take that L. You gotta take that L and learn from it. Learn from it. It's a loss, but you learned. There's always something positive to take from everything. You just gotta remember it coincides with negative, like life and death, day and night. Some people don't articulate that or can get that jammed in and processed. They're always looking for what they intend. You got to be prepared for the unexpected or what coincides with that. Like when you go to ask somebody a favor or a question, whether they answer you with what you want, or they answer back with a question, or you ask for a favor and you get a yes or no. You got to be ready for that. Most people are already in their mind and processed it the way they want it to be. So when you tell them what they don't want to hear, they're automatically going to fucking blow a gasket. Or they're going to rationalize why you have to switch your answer. So, there's a lot of things that need to be taken in consideration. A lot. And I hope that I can help people see that. Because a lot of people, we are all equal, okay? We are all equal. Money, no money, job, no job, license, no license. I don't want anybody, I don't give a shit what anyone says. Those guys in the beginning, they played their card, okay? Now, if they were really on their real hot ass garbage, they would still be on here and they would have fucking, you know what I'm saying? They didn't last long. And did you notice how at the end it's the same as every other time somebody pops up and pulls that stupid fucking shit? Oh, we were just joking. Why is that the last thing they say before they get stripped or pulled? Why is that the last thing they always say? Is it because they got put in their place and they have nothing else to say anymore and they ran out of punch cards, or they just stuck and they're stuck between a rock and a corner and they feel like if they wave that white flag, we're gonna nullify everything they just said. There's no coming back from what you've done. You gotta live with that. What you can do is stop doing it though, so you don't have to keep fucking burning yourself with negativity and drowning yourself in carnage. I'm telling you, and the thing is, they bank on that. They bank on that big guy. They like to fucking hide and pop up. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Really, I'm sorry to hear that. And you want to know what's funny? To him, he probably got a gold star because he's like, I cracked it twice. Oh, you don't want it to be a third time. Especially if it's under 6 months, you might be able to get your license suspended or something for 6 months or some shit. He probably got a hard on right now. When he sees you, you probably give him a hard on. If it's a woman, you probably make her moist at the sight, just because of the situation you got going on. Same spot, same area, twice in how long? What, like a month, the last month, twice? Because I know you told me about it. It has to be now, because if you... No, don't do it. Don't do it. You better make sure that somebody's in labor or somebody's got an arm cut off and they're trying to get back to you rush them to the hospital, get it attached or something. Let's not hope it's like a Lorraine Bobbitt situation, because you just throw that shit out the window. They left out and recovered it, in a cornfield somewhere that day, but Thursday and Tuesday, back to back. Wow, holy shit! Oh yeah, dude. They're gonna try to turn you into a zebra with them stripes. White, black, white, black. They're gonna make you represent dualism. They don't want that. This ain't baseball, buddy. No, 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 no. Unless you like want to sit down. But the thing is, most people don't stop driving after that shit happens. They'll just keep going, and then they'll fuck that up. But I'm not saying you will. I don't think you will. If it happened to you yesterday and today, whoo, that sounds like the shit that happened to me right before my permit dried up. Literally. And anybody who's following me, they seen that shit. They're like, holy fuck, didn't you just get pulled over Monday? And then you got pulled over Friday, and then you got pulled over that other month? What the fuck is that? 9, 10 days? You got pulled over 3 times? 10 over? That's not bad. If it was 20 or more over, I'd be a little concerned because, they could try to turn that into a reckless driving. Which is crazy, but it doesn't take much. Hi, Ghost. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, don't get pulled over again, buddy. Please not. I mean, unless you can afford to, but I don't see how it would help. Yeah, if he couldn't tell you exactly then. But you were. God, that had to bite you in the ass when that happened, huh? They put some ants in your pants, had you dancing, huh? Hey, Ghost. You don't have to ask me if you're going to subscribe. You're welcome to my channel. I done told you what you... Hey, yes, you... If you want my permission, yes, but you don't have to ask me. You can subscribe. Just like you can unsubscribe at any time and leave. Nobody's making you be here. You're here of free will. But yes, you can subscribe. I appreciate it. Like I said, we only on here, trying to do good things. You just subscribed? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Everybody here does. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. This is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. So for me, hey, you know how I said yesterday? Anybody who was on yesterday, if you remember how I said yesterday, if you can't stand for one thing, you might as well give it all the fuck up, because that's really how it is. So look, here's a perfect example. When I first got on here, you had all these fucking people trying to cause all this weird. What? So what? I was supposed to cash out and give up? Good things come to those who wait and can get through that bullshit, like what you just see right here. That's what we on here for. Positivity. We're trying to take negative stuff out of our life and fill that void with positivity. If I can help prevent that, that's what it is. How it is, what it is. And life is full of trial and tribulations. But that's a prime example. Those guys trying to start that shit, trying to get me mad, this and that. Things have been cool as a cucumber. I mean, come on. Somebody just popped up, and I'm not mad at him, but it's so elegant how he pops up. Welcome to the channel, and then he asks for permission to subscribe. Like that's a lot of respect, but you don't need my permission to subscribe. So he subscribed. I give him you're going to subscribe anyway. So it's like, welcome to the family. But it's like, if I would have curled up like a ball like a child, or I'm getting off the live because I've got a couple people trying to pull my strings, or trying to put strings on me to make me into a puppet because they think they're the master, what would it have been worth? I mean, come on. What kind of impression that would have give, right? What would an impression that would have give? Sometimes you got to fucking stand up and just be somebody. Stand up for yourself. That's why I told him, stand up and go fucking be something. Get out of here and go be something. Because obviously, if you're so miserable, you got to waste your precious time on here to try to bait me. You've got some serious issues. You got to go recalibrate yourself. Go look yourself in the fucking mirror and try to look yourself in the eye. Probably haven't did it in your entire life, but you need to. No, you're fine. You're fine, but I'm just saying, this one person that popped back, they were here in the beginning. Like I said, you had somebody like trying to pull some other bullshit. Yes, they will. Exactly. And and like I said, it comes with the territory. That's something that I accepted well before I started putting content on here. I didn't put content on this channel for 4 months. I made it, and then I had the conjure the courage to start making it because I just didn't know where to start, how to start. I didn't want to go watch videos. I didn't want a fresh recorder. I didn't want this. I didn't want that. But I came to the realization. I'm a very realistic person, and I have to be because my life was pretty fucking rough starting at a young age. And, that's another thing, too. This is how you're gonna know motherfuckers real miserable. When they pop up and within 2-3 seconds they put a sentence on here that sums up your whole life. Their assumption of your whole life. The guy said, I'm 40 years old with a hat on, or 45 years old with a hat on my head, being a broke bum collecting government checks. Well, I haven't collected a government check since over almost, 18 years ago. So, a hot minute ago, since the last time I turned 18 from my dad's stuff when he died when I was 9. And I've had a job, and I just turned company, and I've had a job for over a year. So for this guy to sit here and say that I'm a loser, I'm a burnout, and all this, and all that, I have to laugh at it, and I have to sit there and have to dry gulch him the way he dry gulched me and show him that, hey, what you just claimed is honestly the opposite. And if you didn't have, two brain cells that were fighting with each other instead of trying to coincide and make one good one, you would know that. All you have to do is go back and look at a little bit of my content. I'm about to go back to work. I've been on work, I've been on a mending, I've been on the mend. I just got cleared from physical therapy. So I'm going back. And like I said, I work a lot. But I enjoy my job. So, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, big guy. Yeah, very sorry to hear that, because you can't get over that. That's those are the type of things you'll never get over. People say time heal. No, you just get used to it. Because time don't wait for nobody, rust doesn't sleep. And nothing fucks you harder than time. That's why you got to take what time you got now and use it. Very sorry to hear that, man. A lot of us can't relate with that. My dad died when I was 9. And I knew it was going to happen because he told me before it happened. Yep. He told me before it was going to happen. And it did. It happened 13 days after he told me. Literally. So, yeah. And I'm happy he told me because I was prepared. He instilled in me some certain things. Some people thought it was wrong. Some people did. Some people thought it was cruel. I don't think so. That's my opinion. I had a very good dad. He was the best dad in the world for the time I had him here. Yeah, I miss my dad. If it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't have known my one half brother, and he just died last year. And he helped me quit smoking cigarettes and shit like that. I've been 11 years I haven't smoked cigarettes. Dude, I quit smoking weed for my job and shit. So, I only take what I need to for doctor prescribes. But yeah, it's, you're making me tear up a little bit, Mod. Yeah, for the short time I had him, it was a lifetime's worth, honestly. He got me ready as quick as he could because, I don't know what it's like to go through dialysis in the 80s and 90s. Well, he was on it damn near almost 10 years and some change, and he was doing it 4 times a week, 5 hours each time, and that's rough on the body. I watched it before. It's not a pretty sight. I watched it before. It's not pretty. So, and then, he's on the donors list the whole time, his body was worn out, it was just, certain things were happening. He felt like he was more unburdened than anything, so he did what he had to do. That's a rough one. Yeah. Especially sepsis. You get that septic shot. That's infection in the blood. I know you know that, but certain people might, because they don't have, or they didn't know. I don't know everything, but knowledge is power. So, I try to, when I seen that, I just think about that because I know people who went in a septic shock and the same thing happened. And then, that's rough. That's very rough. That's very rough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, real world. And that can happen from a lot of different angles. So, you don't have to illustrate. Just what you told me, I felt it. I felt it. And see, that's what this is about, you're able to say that to me, and I was able to relate. There's things I say to you guys can relate to. That's what this is about. And being able to prevent unnecessary strife and give people peace of mind and let them know that you do have a choice. Don't think just because you get between a rock and a hard place, or somebody try to pull a splinter move on you, you know, that you don't have a choice. That, you know, that's almost when you get like that, and you feel like that's an ultimatum they put on you. You do have a choice, because you know there was times. Excuse me, guys. There was times where in my life before I pulled my head out of my ass or out of the ground like an ostrich. Okay. That I felt like I didn't have no choice to change. Literally, I had no choice to change until you start having responsibilities and obligations. But that still doesn't stop somebody from not waking the fuck up right away. For me, it did. You want to know why? Because the thing with my father, the minute I knew I was a parent, that was like one of the major things. Because, like I said, and I'll say it again because I'm very proud of it, I delivered my daughter. I cut the umbilical cord and I handed her to her mother. The doctor bestowed that honor upon me, and nobody could take that away from me. Nobody. The nurses were a little skeptical. They were a little skeptical, but there's nothing they could do, especially once doctor was right there and said, "You want to do this?" Because he was about to. He goes, "You actually want to do this?" Because I was right there the whole time. Like I said, you know. So like, but I did. I did. Yes, I did. And I remember it like it was just 20 minutes ago. Like the minute I start visualizing. That's one of them good memories. That's one of them good things. That's one of them good things. Just like when these goofies pop on and start their shit. To me, that's one of them good problems. Because if I got somebody doing that, I must be doing something right. Just like when I got people who come in and tell me how they feel exactly, and they found a place, or they want to be here, or you know they just tell me their opinion. Hey, something good's happening. You got to take the good with the bad, and like I said, that's one of them good problems on the other side. But you know, you gotta take advantage of what you have when you have it, because tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. No, it's not. I could get out here. I by default, because I've been on pushing almost 10 to 3 hours. You know, 247 almost here. 2 hours and 47 minutes. Usually I pull about a 3 hour, maybe a little more, a little less, give or take. That's my average. Only been doing it a little over a week. I won't be able to do these anymore unless on Sundays, which ain't a day off for me, but we don't run. On holidays, because I get paid holidays. Or if I get off work a little early. They will be cutting short a little, but I will promise you guys I'll continue to do lives. Because like I said, you know, a lot of you guys that have just came in here, and this is the thing, I don't get mad at anybody who pops in, pops out. If they're not doing nothing negative, that's fine. Or they go like this, hey, I'm just going to subscribe, but I'm a little busy right now. I'm going to pop in later. Or they subscribe. Just because they're not on my live doesn't mean they don't go watch it later. I'll tell you that right now. So it doesn't, everybody's got their own thing to do. So it's like, if you're meant to be here, you meant to be here. I can't get mad for people for doing certain shit. What's happening is what's happening. How it is, what it is. That's the motto. That's, you know, like, we have to roll with this. Like, there is no deluded illusions of grandeur or glory here. Life is what you make it. So if you send out negative energy, you gonna get negative energy back. You send out positive energy, you can get positive energy back. You stand your ground, you're gonna get people who thought you wouldn't to be butthurt. And then in the end, they're gonna do what happens every fucking time, I've noticed. And I know my mom notices it too. It was just a joke. You can't take a joke? Well, that's funny, because up-teen slurs prior to that, it wasn't. I'm a meth head. I got meth mouth. This and that. I don't understand it. I'm a job. I don't have a job. I'm broke. Go get a job. You know, like I said, anybody who really knows what's going on knows that I'm evolving like a Pokemon right now. Evolution at its finest. I am evolving. Because I've never had a license. Oh, somebody made fun of me that. They go, oh, I was sick. One of the people told you. They said earlier today, 10 minutes into it? Well, I'm 16 when I got my license. And what did I say? Well, why don't you thank God that you had the luxury that get it? Because, you know, when I was 16, I was locked the fuck up. You must have mommy and daddy, mainter and painter, to take care of you at night and swaddle you. Be thankful. And they want to sit there and say I'm getting mad. No, I'm stating the obvious. Because you're on here trying to bring people down that need to stay even keel. And obviously you don't know what you're playing with, and you're not playing with a full deck. And the car's running, you're not behind the wheel. because you're ready to crash out by default, because nobody comes on here and does that unless that's what they want. Just like nobody goes out and kills somebody unless that's what they want to do. You set your mind to it. That's your goal. Don't be doing it unless you absolutely want it and want everything that comes with it. That's what nobody wants to think about. They want to act and then think. When you should be thinking very long and hard before you act. Whether you're moving a pawn playing chess, moving your pawn, your move, or you're buying a car. Strategically, you should set up your life. But the thing is, you have to be very reserved. There's no reason to go out and, make it out, stick out like a sore thumb. If that's what you are, if that's what you have, so be it. But if you really want a nice, calm, cool life, especially in the times we live today, what I notice is staying to yourself and trying to do something like this. Because this right here, my platform that I made, this is positive. This is positive for me and positive for anybody who wants to be here, because I took a negative thing in my life and pulled it out. Well, when you take out something that's negative or positive, there's a void in your life. You have to fill that void. Because if you are idle, Devil's Workshop is going to start working. And guess what? The devil works overtime. He don't discriminate. And he don't go by our rules. He don't give a fuck about time. Time is to his advantage, not ours. So we got to take advantage of what we got. They don't play by those rules. We got to do what we know is right. Follow your head, follow your heart, follow your gut. Follow those, Just like if you got somebody around you who didn't get your best interest right. Try to reassess with them, and you could tell they, just like, they can't help nobody, can't help yourself. So if you got somebody around you with that cape trying to act like they're doing all this stuff, but they can't go out and buy a pack of cigarettes, and they've been bumming off you and everybody else for the last 3.5 years or whatever whatever. Whenever they start getting her, they got to get up and they got to help themselves. They got to get up and fucking be somebody. And it's like, that shit don't happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. Some people are the type of people who, if they get money, they got to spend it. Otherwise, it burns a hole in their hand or in their pocket. They have to spend it. Literally, no matter how much it is. They cannot go home at the end of the night or do anything. Once they go out, they got to burn it off. They don't know how to manage money. Well, that's a rough one. That is a rough one. Me, I learned how to manage money before I was a teenager. Just because of what happened with my dad and the positions I got put into. That's why when I went to jail, I learned how to read. Because I refused to read growing up, and I thought anybody who read was an idiot, a bookworm, or a faggot. And I'd smack a book out of hand. This that. I got locked the fuck up 2 weeks after my dad died. Before you knew it, I read my first book. I love reading. I use books to my brain like a whetstone to a sword. Your brain is your most deadliest weapon. You just don't take advantage of it. See, a lot of people don't know we barely even get to use a lot of our brain. By default, we use 10-20% of our brain. Yeah. Even like smart people, they don't even get, it's no higher than 20-22%, somewhere in there. Even for like Einstein's. We don't use a lot of our brain. Just like our brain's in charge of us feeling pain. The left side of our brain controls the right side of our body and vice versa. It's mysterious. It's still mysteriously. Still mystery. Still very mysterious. Just like our back. Our back is a big mystery. Even though you got these big guys that work on the lines, the Jets front line, and all the NFL, this, that, they will tell you this and this and this and that. But they will also tell you this. On the other hand, we still don't know a lot. They'll tell you a lot of this shit comes from assumptions and from things they do and the net positive or negative results. What outweighs what? But what I will tell you that eats me alive is how medical, not Medicare. I'm not talking about like state insurance or any of that shit. I'm just talking about the medical field in general. It's not what it used to be. It's not, and here's a perfect example. If anybody wants to hear it. Here's a perfect example I will give you. Oh, you bring up prayer. Before I bring up the perfect example of why medicine is now, it's not what it used to be, I love how you brought up prayer. When you are in the hospital, you want to know what's better than the, if you pray, I don't give a shit what you say. You pray before somebody's surgery or before a procedure or something, positively will increase bare minimum 10%. I don't give a shit what anyone says. If it's a positive prayer, it will increase their odds by 10%. But let's be realistic about everything. at a bare minimum, and this brass tacks, it's either flip, it's a 50-50, but like when it comes to medical, it's not all about taking care of anybody anymore. It's about putting band-aids on something that needs fucking stitches. Okay? Do you guys understand what I just said right there? You want me to give you a prime example? You want me to give you a couple prime examples? You want me to start shucking them at you like we're playing a game of charades? Okay, here we go. Let's say you get sick. You go in, you don't know what's going on. They run these tests, right? They run these tests. All of a sudden, you got to get referred to this badass doctor. You want the best doctor there is. Doesn't matter, you got the best doctor or the most professionalist doctor. You get diagnosed with something. We ain't going to say what. It doesn't matter. Doctor tells you you've got 9 months, right? Doctor gives you a clock and says you got 9 months. And we're not talking Dr. Welcher that you owe money to. If you don't pay the bills, he'll give you another 6 months. We're talking real life, factual. They give you 9 months to live, right? You live 3.5 years. Who looks like the hero? Answer that. Who looks like the fucking hero? Tell me. Who looks like the hero? They tell you you're going to live 9 months and you live 3.5 years. Who looks like the hero? Nothing was done, though. You still succumbed. And they didn't. And what I mean by the Band-Aid on this. Well, but this is the thing. Let me give you another prime example of why it's all about putting Band-Aids on something that needs stitches. Or staples, or, or needs immediate care. You guys all know what a heart stent is, right? Right? That's where, your ventricles and everything are clogged, and they stick a metal stent through there, a wire, to go through there and clear everything out. The thing is, once they put it in there, it's irreversible. But do you know they will keep on doing it over and over again and keep putting them in there and in there and in there and in there until they clog the artery itself? I mean, literally, there's been women and men that have had 20-something of them in them, almost 36 of them in there. Because once they put that in, they don't pull out. But they will put another one in you, and then another one, and then another one. You're repeating, you're rinsing and repeating over. That's insanity. That's insanity. Literally. That is one of many things that just, and that's not stacking on top of everything you got to take in perspective. The negligence, people who are evil in the medical field, like those nurses, or, like those ones that like to fucking smother people. Or, oh, you remind me of the guy who beat me when I was younger, this or that. So I'm gonna fucking give you instead of giving you your ibuprofen and your Tylenol 4, I'm gonna give you a trazodone and an Ambien, and I'm gonna snow your ass out. And then I'm gonna come up on you. And I'm gonna tell you night. You're gonna eat a pillow. And they do that until they get caught. I don't know why. That's a lot of people want to know why, especially the victim's family. But it's like 90 times out of 10 before these people get caught, it's already written in stone that it was all because of this or that. Not a murder. It wasn't a homicide. Until something starts happening. So until it's like, well, why are people always coding on your clock? Until somebody sees a pattern of behavior that just don't make sense. And I'm sorry, like, all the stuff I've been through in my life, like, I had a grandma, my mom's mom. She broke her hip. And after the hospital, she went to a place. You might as well call it whatever you want. People call them death house, nursing home. For 2 weeks to learn how to walk. She wasn't even there a week, and we just visited the day before. She was perfectly fine, and all of a sudden she coded. And you know what I'm saying? To me, it don't make no sense, but to make sense out of something that you don't really know what happened, but from what you can take, because you could sit there and assume until you're blue in the face. But what I'm trying to get at is, good or bad, you gotta deal with it. The cookie's gonna crumble. Are you gonna crumble? Yeah, I won't let my mom go into a home. I won't. I've gotten into it with family about it. I said, Mom, I don't want to be in one, and I'm not putting her in one. She don't need to be in one. But you guys talk about it, it's like, you guys would be lucky you make it to her age. My mom's the type of person that don't know what going on in this, like, she was born right after the war, the end of the World War II. So, like, Yeah, I'm not. So like, I love when somebody's like, "Oh, you live with your parents." I wish I had my dads. You could say parents, but no. Yeah, coincide with it. That you want to know that is a more normal thing these days, and not because most people can't afford it and their parents will take care of them. It's both and both. You got people who are taking care of their people, and then you got the parents that are still taking care of the kids when the kids. But see, you're supposed to be. This is the thing. We're supposed to be. Don't take this the cold way. We're supposed to be burying burying our parents. Parents ain't supposed to be burying their kids. That's how it's supposed to go. You know, it's damn near vice versa these days. You know, like when I paroled in '09. You know, it was sickening what I seen. Because everybody that was out in the streets, these young kids, they already had it in their mind, and they already knew exactly what was going to happen because they already chose what they wanted to do, and they wasn't pulling out. And I'm watching these kids pulling their parents in the funeral homes, and they're picking out a casket and having it prepaid. Because they know shortly after this they will be killed one way or another because of the shit they've been doing or the shit they have done or what they will be doing. That's what made me sick. Yeah. You know, usually it's the old people going in or the young people going to take care. You know, no. Not these days. It's all about living fast and dying young. Well, I'm sorry. Not happening here. Not happening here. No. No. You know what, though? I'm going to have a 3-strike rule on here with the batter thing. Whenever, because I had certain people say certain things to me, and it just, the thing is, they don't make no sense. And nobody can make sense of it that knows what I've been doing. So, what I want to do is I want that person to come on here after they say some stupid shit and show me how stable they are. Oh, and they want to call me meth mouth. Well, show me your mouth, because I would almost want to bet because you were so quick to say all this stupid shit that you don't even got a fucking tooth for your head in your mouth. So if I call Dr. Tooth, I got to pay him by the default whether he pulls anything or not. So he might just have to come and call Dr. Tongue before he leaves, and then he'll hold you down while the guy yanks out the tongue with hot pinchers. Because they're going to want maximum value and satisfaction. So for you to come over here and call me meth head when I still got my teeth, and I take care of my teeth. I take care of my teeth. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I love when people want to throw shit at the wall and it doesn't stick. You want to know why it didn't stick? Because you didn't know what you were throwing on. There was no wall. You thought it was a wall. Deluded illusions of grandeur and glory. Yeah. You must have let my obstacle illusions that I've never even thrown at you get a hold of you. Compound with some editorial revision? Huh. Now I'll tell you this right now. You've seen how you got pulled in stuff. I told you, don't be doing that shit to people in real life, what you were doing on here, because what's going to happen if you do that in real life, somebody that you fucked with and did that to one day is going to see you drowning, and they're going to throw you a fucking cinder block. So don't get mad. Think about what the fuck you did that caused that. Because you were the catalyst of your own destruction. Yes. Yes. Don't get mad when you're on fire like a wild banshee looking for some water to jump in, and everybody's in line at the bathroom and can't get in to take a piss, and they won't line up to take piss on you to put you out. Because what you did, they're gonna think about the last time. And what did you do? You ran that sewer hole. We had to put a man cover on and move you. Rotate. Get on with yourself, man. Go up and be somebody. You know? If you're that bored, go buy a fucking dartboard, because, you know, we're not playing bad taboo around here. We don't need that. I mean, you know, throwing a pot shot here and there and, you know, actually making it sense of it being a joke is one thing. But I've noticed on here, you get people who think they're going to start something and it's almost going to cause a revolt. And they're going to take a hold of things like a hostile takeover of a fucking company, Fortune 500 company or something. And it just never works. And their end thing is, well, you can't take a joke. You wasn't joking. Because if you were joking, you wouldn't be assuming my life in one sentence and then telling me to go get a job because I'm a fucking burnout, calling me a burnout, insulting me, insulting my people, insulting my moderators, insulting my followers, and trying to infect us with your infestering disease. Yes, there's a lot of people out there with tethering eyes and wagging tongues, and you know, their ears are open. But this is what they do. They want to try to bird feed you hot-ass garbage. Not me. Not me. But I won't stand there and let nobody do it to us either. That's why I'm willing to stand up for myself. And they want to sit here and say, oh, you're mad, you're mad. That's how you know they're thriving on misery. They think I'm getting mad. No, I'm sticking up for myself. Only to me, this is 3-4 versions lighter than having, 24 grown men come to my door and knock on it and try to physically make me sign a lease. And that didn't happen. So, like, if you think, this is why I always tell people, I've been up against worse for less. So if that's if that's all you've got, oh God, you're not even cooking with gas. Where the fuck did you get that shit from? What was that? What was that? A depleted oil mine? Because they leave all the toxins down in that shit. What the fuck was that shit? You can't even run that shit on anything. No wonder no wonder you got a rod knocking in that motor. Like, you ain't cooking with nothing. You ain't got nothing. You have no credibility, no tangibility, no nothing. Your accountability's gone. You burnt everything up. Now you're getting washed the fuck out. We don't need that shit. What we do need, though, is more people like, Mr. Bomb that came in. And he was right away. Like, hey, dude, I'll let you know this right now. I can tell that you're a really gracious person, and I'm glad that you came in the channel. Whether you're here or not, right here or not. When you asked, you ain't, that's the topmost up respect. I think there's maybe been 3 or 4 people since I've had this channel that went out of their way to go ask me, can I subscribe? And I'm like, no, I'm happy. I'm very happy. You see, I have a smile on my face. Why? Do you want them to be upside down? Then I suggest you become the second coming and flip everything upside down. Otherwise, move on, man. Unless you got the power to move mountains and conjure the courage to be something real and make something positive, nobody's mad. I'm illustrating the obvious, though. If you can't live in the reality, then go live in denial. And I'm not talking the river in Egypt. Just go get yourself on. Because if you can't be real with yourself, you're not going to be real with anything. No, I'm not mad. But I will illustrate this shit every time. Because it shows other people that haven't went through it or have went through it that they do have a choice to deal with this shit. Nobody's going to bring me down. Nobody's going to bring me down. Only person going to bring me down is myself. And I did it for a good part of my life. Haven't done it in over 10 years plus. When you've been through certain things, you know what's going on. So you'll know if somebody's talking out of their ass or not. That's why I love when I get certain people on here. Because you know who's talking with substance, who their words are vessels full of substance, or they're hollow vessels with no substance. And they're just wasting time. Wasting their precious time. You can't get that time back. You ain't got no time machine and you ain't got no flying submarine. And you ain't got no rewind button. So I suggest you just stop with the negativity and all the insolence and all the ignorance and start getting some benevolence in your life. Because, that's just, anybody can do that. It's so easy to do the wrong thing, to do the good thing. That's why they say, good things come to those who wait, good things come to those who do. You get what you give. My people on here, they're the sun. I'm the solar panel. Some days, I'm the sun, they're the solar panel. But what do solar panels and suns do? They coincide with each other in a positive way. They absorb the UV rays, give us clean and efficient electricity. I guess I made that one up too, huh? I guess I just make up everything, huh? I guess, huh? No, that's why you guys got to stop with those fucking Frankenstein stories in those laboratories you call your mind. Because the brain, the fantasy muscle is a wonderful and powerful weapon. But the thing is, it can be very detrimental to you, and you don't even know it. Because you start getting too big for your fucking britches, and then somebody might have to do something about it. And what's funny is that, look, you didn't keep I'm pushing 310 on here. Woo! That's what's up. That's what's up. It's almost like yesterday, almost with only yesterday had no static, and today had some static. So be it. It's like when I was growing up. Before there was cable in a cable box, you had the 10 antennas. You had to turn that motherfucker if you wanted static in your fucking picture or not. Am I lying? I guess I made that motherfucking shit up too, huh? How about that, huh? If I did, then do something about it. Otherwise, let's just keep rolling. Because that's what I'm about. I'm a man of accountability. I take mine. You gonna take yours? You gonna take care of yours? You gonna take accountability for your actions? Because I never did when I was young, but I have now, and I have been for for a while, for a hot minute. It might have took some, but hey, sometimes that's what it takes. Rome wasn't built overnight. So you try to rush things, nothing good comes of it. Just like wanting to make fun of somebody or perceive that they're weak off the book, judging the book by its cover. You fucking up big time. Because you're going to pick somebody that you think is the weakest person, and he's probably going to be the strongest person, absent any thoughts. Ain't going to be able to take you out with ease. And we're not talking, we're talking, if you know anything about life, instead of hiding under a rock and doing negative stuff, you would know. You would know. It doesn't take much. Now these days, all it takes is for you to look at somebody the wrong way, and they'll kill you. Bullets ain't got no name on it. You might not even know when you did it. Road rage. Road rage is a big one too. You let's say you coincide it with your lifestyle, depending on you got there. Oh yeah, big one. Motherfucker got blinked down, and it happens a lot. It happens a lot. Didn't know that he inadvertently cut somebody off because it wasn't obvious. They had to come to a assumption, or looking at the cameras like this guy was driving normal the whole time and he just got over when he knew he could. There wasn't no, I'm speeding, I'm playing Frogger, I got ahead of you, I cut you off. No, he was just driving, and then dude assumed he cut him off and got mad, and when he come up, he got on the side of him, rolled his window down and said, "Hey, you." Didn't even say nothing after he rolled the window down after that, and just unloaded and left him slumped right there in broad daylight. And the dude didn't even know what he did. And when they blocked the guy up, that's what he said. He cut me off. That was his justification for killing him. In broad daylight, in front of, 37 cameras from 59 different angles, and 3 dozen witnesses. So, you tell me. That's just like somebody who's going out doing unspeakable things, and then they get pulled in. And, the cops, they want to hear your side of the story, and they're giving you a chance to be a man. And then they go like this, well, sad to say, no matter what you say, your DNA was found. There's no getting over that. There's no, now, you can say, hey, God forbid, this, and we're not talking about no Stephen Avery shit either. Because for some odd reason, regardless if he did the, old girl with the auto trader, I feel like that was all set up to get him because they didn't like how they got him on a fake charge. Old girl recanted, he got out. I don't think they wanted him out. I think they wanted him to make sure he stayed, and that's what they did now. And if he did do that, then that shit was building up inside, and he was a pressure, and that's another thing too. That's why I'd say this is a positive thing, because you have to express yourself in an appropriate manner. And you gotta give insight, even to people who are misunderstood and might have the wool over their eyes. Why do you think when them people come on and say all that dumb? I'm telling you the truth. I don't hate them. They're misunderstood. Whether they stay that way the rest of their life, or they wake up an hour from now, 10 years from now, 2 months from now. Hey, everyone's different. Why do you think when, that's why they do trials on drugs? Because everyone's going to different from that effect of that same thing. Just like you won't know if they gave you a placebo one, and they do that. A lot of that shit's mind over matter. That's how it be. But, nobody wants to take in consideration the obvious. Nobody wants to sit back and, estimate and recalibrate things. Some people are scared of change. Some people are so used to doing the same old thing, they feel like and give themselves no choice. That they remove the choice from themselves. Or people around them convince them of that. That's not good. That's not good. If somebody else can make you go and do something, and it impacts your life to a point to where you're not out and you're locked up and you're a national treasure, yeah. Shame on him, and God forbid you, because it's like, you got to wake up. There's nothing wrong with consistent we're creatures of habit, but we're also creatures that, mammals, we're Homo sapiens, susceptible to human weakness. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. So sometimes, even though Mod, you said you like being consistent, sometimes it gets to a point where that's not the priority anymore because you might not be who you are now. Like, I don't know how old you are. Let's say that yes, always. Just like if you want to change your life. Some people are so scared of it, but it might have been the best thing they did. But you know how you said you're consistent? Well, I'm just going to, this is just me ranging. I don't know how old you are, so you ain't got to tell me. But let's say you're 28 or 30. Being consistent's not going to be what you think it is if you make it to 60 or 70. What's going to be more consistent is you making sure that you make sure everything at that age, because you're not a spring chicken no more. So you're not going to be doing all the same things that you did. Because you got to remember this. Everybody forgets that we created time, and there's only 24 hours in a day. So what do we do by default? Most of us. Hey, most of us that out there I know that most of us now don't. But the people, hey, by default, if we're trying to do what we got to do, let's break this down. There's 24 hours in a day, right? By default, that average human sleeps 8 hours, whether you're getting REM sleep or not. And that's a whole nother ball game. But 8 hours, right? Give or take. Then you work, right? By default, that's another 8. You got to guess. You got a good job, it's probably 10 or 12. So you add that. You still haven't taken account eating, bathing, trying to coincide with whoever you're around. All the small things in life that you know not to take for granted anymore. Smelling the roses, broadening your horizons in any way you can. So we don't have a lot of time. So it's like to try to keep that stuff straight. Yeah, you have to. Like you said, you have to be consistent, but the thing is, as time goes on, things are going to change willingly or unwillingly. You will have to agree with that. And I don't want you to agree with it verbally. I'm saying you will agree with it with your life. Literally. Because, like I said, time don't wait for nobody and rust doesn't sleep. And I'll tell you this right now. As much as when you're young, you think you're untouchable, you find out real quick that you're old and, you're not a machine. You're breaking down, and you got to do what you got to do. So it's just how it is. I mean, just like you can't control, hereditary things that you get. You can't control. We all have cancer cells in our body, right? Whether it's hereditary or not. They're sleeping. Certain things trigger them. So, like, we can't control when we're diagnosed with cancer, can we? Well, that would break a consistency that you had going for a big, long part of your life, right? If you got cancer, because then you'd have to follow protocol if you believed in modern medicine and start following treatment, whether it's radiation, chemotherapy, or having surgery and having cut right out. Like a tumor. Like I said, those are the type of things that, whether you want it or not, you're going to have to deal with it if you want to keep coinciding in this existence. One thing, though, that we shouldn't be afraid of is the whole thing that coincides with us right now, death. You can't have one without the other. When that happens, we go into the next part of our stage of life. Well, this is just a vehicle, a test run. This is. Hey, everyone's got their own beliefs and everybody got the right to their own opinions, but until you get there, hey. And certain people go, well, how would you know? You want to know what? I don't. But certain things do happen. Seeing is believing. And I know what I've seen and what I've saw, and I know what I've gone through and what I haven't. That's why I won't talk about nothing I don't know anything about, because that would be me talking out of my ass. And what would that do? Nothing good. Nothing good. And that's not what we're about on here. So you could take it how you want to, but I don't try to be cynical. I just want people to be aware, and a lot of people, by default, and I was one of them, a while back, a long time ago, communication was not the key for me. Communication is the key. You know, you don't tell somebody anything they don't know. They can't help you, or they can't give you their perspective on their side of that shit if they went through it. Like, you know, when he said he lost his mom, you know, that hit because I lost my dad, not at 4 or 5, but at 9. So, you know, I can relate. You know, it's like if you've been through certain things, there's nobody, you know, good and bad. Like I said, we're all destined for great and unfortunate things, great and unfortunate, good and bad. You just gotta roll with it. You gotta be a captain of your own ship. Don't let nobody down you. We're hitting 320 plus. Lord have mercy. Well, I don't know what y'all been through, but I know what I've been through, and I can tell y'all this. Tonight's been another wonderful night. With the static, too. I don't give a shit what anyone says. People think that, but no. I will keep bringing it up just to make a point of it. Unless these guys have big fucking platforms that are about baiting people, and they're screen recording, they're going to throw it, which would really be stupid, too, but I don't see the whole point of it unless you're miserable and you're sinking and you just want to drag people down in the quicksand with you. Not here. We're trying to elevate with deadly purpose, absent negative thoughts, with the task at hand. Okay? Why do you think I'm so delighted on going back to work? Even though it wouldn't matter whether I was out 3 months or 3 years, my job was always going to be there for me. Because I love what I do. Most people don't like what they do. They do it because the money or the benefit, this and that. No, that's just French. That's just, for me, that's almost like a relationship with somebody. Hey, this is my opinion, so I don't want somebody to look at me like I'm crazy, but I gotta give it because I want to see if I get the same. I know there's a shitload of you guys on here. Maybe I'll hit it tomorrow right away off the bat, along with some refreshing news because, you know, tomorrow morning I gotta go see the surgeon, and from there I'm going to work to go give my paper. I don't see why. I mean, if physical therapy cleared me, I don't see why the surgeon wouldn't. There's no reason to hold me anymore. I'm tired of getting paid and not doing anything. I'd rather just go to work and get paid so I can start putting money in my 401k. Putting a little bit more money in my stocks that are recession proof. That I make good money off of. That I can totally show you guys what to, you know, do. But like I said, you don't want to do any of that unless you can afford to lose that money. But, you know, there's all sorts of stuff I want to do, you know, that I cannot do. It doesn't matter whether you're on workman's comp or whatever the fuck is going on. It doesn't matter. No, man, because by default, I don't do that. I can't sit around like that. I'm like somebody who's got a scratch that can't itch, especially when it comes to work. I love what I do. I learn something new every day. I'm trying to become management. That's why I work 6 days a week, work on my day off. I'm going right back to that. Yeah. And I mean, it was inevitable anyways. It's just, I sat at home and did a lot of physical therapy that most people wouldn't do. And they would sit there and just drag it out because they knew, hey, if I'm getting paid for at least 8 hours out of my day, regardless, and you got insurance and you would just drag it all out. I had 10 more sessions, and they weren't going to drag it out on purpose, even though they clipping my, for $1,200 every time. Paying $18, copay, but like they weren't gonna keep me. They flat out told me it would be counterproductive and it'd be excessive, very excessive. And they're like, you've already shown us that you've been doing what you're saying, so like, this will be your last day as long as you want it. Yeah, and they were very cautious with me. They're like, are you sure? Because we don't want you to. Oh, I'm beyond sure because I know what I do there and what I don't do. I know what I can do and what I can't do. A real person will be able to regulate and know and keep their finger on their limitations. They know their limitations. Sometimes you have to go through that equator line that you don't see and crash and burn a little bit on certain things like that to build your reputation. Your limitations, and learn how to have your limitations and start exercising impulse control and restraint. Some people ain't got none of that. It's almost like being in jail. You have to let some of that shit go. You can't, you're going through jail, whether you're in there doing a weekend because you got 2 days, or you're in there and fighting a fucking murder, and you're going to be in there for 3 years fighting it because you can't bail out. Somebody calls you a bitch, you can't let that be. And you can, But then you have to worry about everybody else lining up to spit on you or try to eat you alive. So you got to stand your own. So you don't want to sit there. You don't want to sit there and do stupid things. I'm not talking about no 6-day in shit. No, just literally, because everybody's hunting. The wolves can smell fear. Like a great white can smell a drip of blood 300 miles away, and they will go that 300 miles to go find that wounded animal if it's still alive and eat the fuck out of it, or whatever they get a hold. They will go. That's why they're called great whites, because they will go in pursuit for long distances for prey. That's what makes them one of the top aquatic apex predators. But I'm just saying, you got to sit back and you got to take your time with this. I was the type of person that I didn't give a fuck about this. I didn't give a fuck about that. I give a shit. I give a shit now. I do give a shit. I've been giving a shit, and I feel like this is a way for me to show you guys that there is hope, and that if I can, you can, and if I can prevent you guys from doing something negative or unnecessary, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Because I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through if they don't have to do it. If it's unnecessary and can be prevented, that's all it is. Prevention's the key. Just like, people always want to protect their kids. That's fine and dandy, but you got to fucking realize one thing. You can't protect them from themselves. A lot of people want to be in denial about that. You be the best parent in the world, but you can't protect your kids from themselves. So, they got to learn too as they go on. And I know that's a rough cookie to swallow or chew up or whatever, but I'm just being realistic. Like, a lot of people don't want to hear these things. These things need to be heard. But we're pushing 3:30, and not 3:30 in the morning. That would just take another blink of the eye and me. We're pushing 4 minutes to 3 minutes, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Damn. Hey, to me, tonight was just like last night. Fuck the static. If we would have took half the static tonight and put it last night, it would have been a normal night anyways. So to me, it's all the same. It's all the same. Every day above ground's a good day. Give a shit. Like, comment, subscribe. If somebody wants to talk about something, my email is in the script. The link for my email's in my description. All right? Make sure you take care of yourselves. Take it easy on yourselves. Love the people that you know taking care of you. They're not going to be here forever, just like you're not going to be. Take care of yourself, too. Slow the fuck down. Keep, wash yourself. Make sure. I'm not even worried about that. Make sure you take care of that belly button. Because I'm going to start doing belly button challenges where I'm going to start walking around live, and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna go like this. We're gonna come across 20 people. We might start with 10, but I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna estimate how many have dirty belly buttons, and I'm not gonna be the one doing it. But it's so funny to watch somebody go, oh, I know my belly button's clean. Watch them stick their finger in there and go, oh yeah, like they got a warhead up their ass or something. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Somebody told me I should have did a belly button challenge. Well, hey, it seems like people that bathe every day tend to forget about that. That's that swimming pool they got. And I don't care if it's an outie or innie. You better still clean it, outie or not. What you can't see is what's the most dangerous. Why do you think they say, I'm telling you. But like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, you want to get a hold of me, you got my shit. It's another one with your boy Witham. Have a good night, everybody, or happy Thursday morning. I know I had a good Wednesday night with me, and we're into the young morning again. Another young Wednesday morning, or Thursday morning, I'm sorry. I'll talk to y'all soon. It's another one with your boy Witham. I'm out.